Welcome back, everyone, to DBDLeague. This is another Scrim Night. And yes, we heard you all. You really want to see the low-level community night with a little bit of Evan, maybe, and a little bit of Onryo. And yeah, we are on it. We promise we have heard your wishes. But for today, we have the normal community night, scouting a few teams, potentially for the Halloween event with Excellence and the Valentines. And we're not only scouting teams, we also have something new on the desk, someone new to be more precise. We have a new caster being on DBDL the very first time, and it's an honor to introduce him. Joshua, welcome this evening.
Thank you so much. What a lovely warm welcome. I'm really excited to get going tonight. I've got so much love for DBDLeague. It's been something that I've been following for such a long time, and to just be a part of it and provide something to the amazing community that we've got here, it's a really exciting experience.
We are very glad to have you on the desk, and we have two exciting teams as well. The Valentines, I just see someone saying in chat, I really like the Valentines logo. Gris, I absolutely agree with you. It's looking great. And Excellence Survivor team with the Justitia, at least she's called in German like that, probably in English somewhat the same. Also looking really amazing. And the Killers are looking great as well that we have for this best of 5 tonight. Spirit, Mastermind, Nurse, Artist, and Demogorgon. And Noshua, you said at the beginning, before we went live, you like watching Spirit. Spirit is something you really appreciate in comp gameplay. Can you enlighten us? What do you like about Spirit in that regard?
Absolutely. I mean, with Spirit, for me, I like that there's moments of chaos, but there's also moments where really big plays can come into play. We saw it there in the highlight reel before we started up here, that Spirit can have some outstanding plays, especially when it comes to mind games. I think it was, in fact, Zaka, the play in the Killer Shack, where he's gone down into the basement and then boom, straight over the pallet. You'll love to see those sort of things. So for me, Spirit is really one of those where I'm kind of like edge of my seat. I don't really know what I'm going to expect, but I know I'm going to enjoy it nevertheless.
I have to agree that the Spirit is really exciting. It's a fast gameplay as well, and you're testing the teams a little bit, how they're able to deal with very quick decision making. And it feels like our teams in general want to have a very fast-paced best of 5, at least for the first 3 sets, because Mastermind is a killer that can be really speedy, that can really put you under pressure. In worst case, even going for a snowball, especially on a map like Wrecker's Yard. And then the Nurse, the good old S-tier comp killer, back on the call tower as well. So in this very difficult environment for the teams where you don't have a lot of room to zone her away from the generators, where your team really has to fight very hard for every single second. So Valentines and Excellence, just judging them on their picks here in the first 3 sets, they seem to be too confident newcomer team, I would say, because otherwise you're not allowing Spirit, Mastermind, and Nurse to happen, right?
Absolutely. I mean, Nurse on the comp tower is something that I think we can all appreciate as being a very interesting set, but it is a really strong lineup, a really strong lineup. And to have those 3 killers first, we're in for such a treat. We really are. It's going to be spectacular, especially with them being 2 newcomer teams. I mean, I'm excited. I'm so excited to see this get going. I really am.
Absolutely. And I feel like what then happens after this very insane, very quick start, the teams were like, well, after we have done that, we need to go a little bit easy. We need to slow it down. The Artist, I would say, in this regard, is more of a medium killer. You have a lot more about the mind games. You can really easily drag the Artist into a corner, gaining a lot of times for your team, especially when 1 or 2 mind games are failing, or a few crow attacks are failing. You can really punish the killer onto the generators. And then for the set number 5, potentially the tiebreaker, as we would obviously wish to go in a 2-2 in a very equal scrim night here, but the Demogorgon being the weakling, basically, on the last set. Very dependent on survivor mistakes. Yeah, poor Demo, indeed. So after 3 sets of huge action, we're going into this mechanical part of DBD, testing if they are perfect with the mind games and body blocking for each other. But I think this is giving this best of 5 a very unique touch.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think you've hit the nail on the head, so to speak, with how we are going to see things change towards the end. It's almost as if the two teams are going to be tired out from those first 3 sets, from the absolute aggression that we're going to see. Demo, I do like to see in comp. I really, really do. Poor Demo being labelled as the weak one in this lineup. It breaks my heart. It really does. I'm a secret Demo enjoyer. That much is for sure. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see the mechanical aspects that we see later on down the line with those final 2 sets, especially with Artist. Artist, for me, you don't really see her much, I don't feel, in normal day-to-day DBD. It's not one that I really see. I've seen her be played, funnily enough, in some 1v1 tournaments that I've spectated in the past, and it was an interesting pick. I like to see it in comp. I like a bit of change-up. I'm looking forward to Demo more, I'm going to say, personally.
Yeah.
Just because I know how tight it can get. He's not got a lot of pressure, but he is a good boy. We love our Demo, 100%.
Yeah, Artist can be a very weird killer in comp. Like, when you play a Nurse, you know that the Nurse is very strong. You know that there will be pressure all along. With the Demogorgon, you know, okay, that's going to be a weaker killer. We will struggle in the early game, and Artist is very open from the get-go. Sometimes that makes it really exciting, but especially when you played a normal Artist game, I would say, for example, 6-7 stages on the Wrecker's Yard, and then you are going into the next match, and then 2 unfortunate snipes happen early on in the game. You kind of know, okay, this is going to be a different trial. It's basically already coming to an end. And in that regard, I have to agree, Artists can be really weird, and the other killers feel more stable. You know what you're having on your hands, and then you can more directly compare how the individual players are doing. Someone is asking in the chat if MM is Mastermind. That's indeed the case. And Sinister Fox would like to know how the casters are doing for today. Not sure. How are you doing?
I am doing absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much. How are you, Dyer?
I'm doing great as well. Thanks. Thank you too. And Sinister Fox, thanks for asking. How are you doing today? Are you excited for the best of 5? So if this is the first community night you're catching in DBDL, today we have the chance to interact a little bit more. This is always difficult on the weekends when we are putting up the season 9 production. We are living in the future basically, and even if we would remove the delay or stream in a way that we are on the same time with the chat, we don't have time to really interact. So this is why we really appreciate the community nights. And this also means if you have any questions about season 9, the upcoming playoffs, future tournaments, the past of DBDL, rule questions, or anything that you always wanted to ask us, today is the best chance. You can even drop your feedback today, because then we can ask directly to you, how do you really mean that? Do you have an idea how to make it better, etc.? And we can come into some sort of dialogue that is also much easier than you writing a message in our Discord server, where it's always welcome, of course, but then we have to ask 5 million questions to understand your point. I do not know who's making the team logos. The teams are providing that, so I would assume it's an artist they found, or maybe a talented player in the team. How many 360s did you hit with Nemesis so far? None, because I never touched Nemesis.
Does anyone touch Nemesis? I don't.
Probably the Nemesis fan Kaitree in the chat exposed themselves.
I'm too much of an Oni fanboy to move over to Nemesis, unfortunately.
I'm a Plague fan, and I often get negativity for being a Plague fan in comp as well. The favorite set to cast is Plague. A lot of people disagree there. The founder of DBDL, in fact, disagrees with that as well. For me, it's Plague, and forever it will be. What's my favorite music? My favorite music is Schiller. It's a German artist who's mainly doing instrumental music. Kind of unique, I would say, but definitely worth checking out.
Is it relaxing?
It is very relaxing. Yeah, you can drift away. Sometimes there are singers in the songs, but most of the time it's instrumental. But it's not so chill out that you couldn't listen it on a car drive, for example. Like, it's the perfect mix between electronic dance house club or chill out where you only do. It's right in the middle, and it's perfectly in the middle. So yeah, if anyone wants to check it out, Schiller. First song to get into, I would say, is Ultramarine. You find amazing live performances on YouTube quite easy.
That's a strong name for a song. Ultramarine. I'm obsessed with Sleep Token at the minute. I can't lie. I know it's basic, but I am. Yeah. I'm just completely obsessed. Everything about them, I just lost for words anytime I hear their music. I really am. I'm sorry. I admit it.
I mean, simple can be really good, right? Sometimes the most simple songs, like when you have the perfect sort of melody that really catches you, all you really need is a little bit of drum maybe, or a little bit of an additional effect, and you're done. It can be really the best thing to listen to. Also, to the people asking when we are starting, well, the answer is right now. We are loading into our first match, and we are going to see Valentines on Killer First and Excellence on the Survivor team. Based on the name, I do expect that we are seeing a very, very nice first trial coming out from them. We are hoping for an excellent trial coming out from them. In general, to give you a little bit of an idea, we are playing all 5 sets regardless. So we are not looking for a winner tonight. We are not shutting down the best of 5 after 3 set points have been awarded. Instead, we would like to meet the teams. We want to meet their players. We want to be able to imagine them a little bit better when we are going into the selection process, for example, for the All Hallows League 2024. And therefore, we are all good to go. Ryoga, North, a smile emote, I would say, and X Temple are going to take the Survivor side, and Valentines is bringing in Tutti Frutti on the Spirit, and that's a very nice first injury immediately. If this phase is successful, that's the dream start for our killer here.
Surely we don't see it down this soon in, but the footsteps are so close. No way are we going to see it down this early on. This is huge. An absolutely massive start here for Valentines. I can't believe it. Hardly any progress on the gens. Shack being worked on, but we're not even at 30%, and I think by the time we get this hook here, we are going to be pushing them off with Ruin. This is a strong start.
This is a nightmare for the Survivor team. They can only be glad that the agitation was not used to force a basement hook immediately here. So we are going to see potentially the very quick rescue coming out right there onto Ace. Meanwhile, X Temple is going into the next chase right here. Does get the window in time. Spirit was not expecting it. That leads to a little bit of distance and more time being lost on the killer side. And that's what we need right now after having such an early down, making a little bit of a recovery on the Survivor side. Vault coming in again. Nice attempt there with the crouch, but Tutti Frutti expecting it this time since the window was used right beforehand. Difficult filler pallet on the outside of the Wrecker's Yard. 50-50 attempt. God. Not going to be successful. Great work by Tutti Frutti. Second down coming in already. Still on 5 generators. We did at least see the rescue and the reset onto Ace, so you will not be able to tunnel out Ace that quick into the match here. But so far, Spirit looking very, very confident.
Very, very confident indeed, and I think they've got all right to be fair. Still got Ruin up 2 stages on the board, 2 fresh hooks. Really strong position, but what I'd be interested in here as we see Ada sneaking away at that gen is, what is the play here? Do we secure second? Do we go for another one? where does the confidence lie here? But we are going to see the phase over to Ada. Not quite, as Shaq does get done. Are they going to move in now for the save? Not quite. We don't see the trade-off there. I don't know how I would play this in this situation. Do you secure it, or do you just let the game play at this point? They are going to trade out. Interesting.
Yeah, the rough part for the killer is that he got really punished now with 2 generators already on the line, so you can tell as soon as the killer is giving up the pressure on the survivor team, these teams are brutally efficient. You're staying around the hook, you're instantly going to lose 2 generators, and the problem was we were guarding the hook, but unfortunately we were not getting the second stage. So compared to going and forcing the survivors off the gens, especially with the Hex Ruin still active, was not really giving us a benefit right here, and we are not reaching the down right here. Very nice stun from the survivor, exactly what we are needing in this moment. Extemple taking a confident vault here and staying as the winner in this mind game, going into the comp corner now, wasting as much time as possible. It's a very nice decision. We see the Hex Ruin cross map from here. We see 2 very easily accessible generators from here as well. So the survivor team with 3 healthy survivors definitely working on their to-do list. I wouldn't be surprised if we see another generator anytime soon here.
Possibly. We've got one quite low progress far away from the hook, but I do think we will see that pop. It's just a bit too far. As we secure another hit onto the ace, we are going to commit to this chase here. Ace, remember, was the first one hooked in this trial right at the beginning, suddenly feeling like a very long time ago since that first happened, but still well within the game. But we are going to return here for the tunnel out on the Saga. Saga, an interesting pick. I like the skins. But how is this going to play out? Is this going to be a quick down in? She goes to the pallet. It is going to be a quick return on the down. We are going to see that tunnel out. Ruin still up as well, and I imagine that other gen that we spoke about earlier is going to be popping sometime soon. There we go. Almost as if it's poetry. We see that gen pop in the distance. Tunnel out secured, 3 people left. How is this going to play out?
I was just about to say, this was a prediction of excellence from you, meeting up with the survivor team name right there. Very, very nice to see the 3rd generator coming out, though. Not sure now it's going to be more difficult for them. We are losing a survivor still relatively early. We are having 2 gens to go. We have seen that the other generators were not progressed the most far. The Hex Ruin is still standing as well, and once you have lost a survivor, Hex Ruin is doing a lot more damage to your generator progress than being in a 4-man where you constantly have an additional resources that is able to take over. North leaving here. Now it's getting really, really sad for the survivor team. We are right next to the hooked survivor, so the Spirit will be able to defend the regressing generator and the survivor on the hook here. So now it's slowly turning into the favor of the Spirit, especially with this additional injury being taken. If North is going down too quickly, then our Ada will have a very difficult time. Therefore, we need to make sure that we are holding W as far away as possible from the current hook stage, and the survivor team is doing that very perfectly, though. So we will see the down eventually coming out, but we also luckily see the rescue right there.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, Ruin is still very much in play. I'm wondering at this point if the survivors are just wanting to play it out, maybe? Maybe that's a play that they're thinking. Have they not found it? But even if that is the case, Tutti Frutti has still got Eruption in the pocket, ready to go, just in the case that Ruin does get found. But honestly, this is such a strong set. We are going to make our way back over. They did get the reset, but now it's about finding that ace, and we are going to find ace down at the corner map. If this is a quick down here, I think my internal prediction for this game might be changing quite a bit. I didn't want to voice it at the time. We do see the Deliverance play as well. A very, very close. Even the footsteps confused me there. I thought that was going to be on the money, and we get the pallet hit. Really, really strong play there. This game's about to get very, very hot. What do you think, Daya?
Yeah, this is now the very intense turning point. The Survivor team is trying to throw resources at the killers, such as the Deliverance, such as trying to get the chases as much as possible, dragging her away from the active generators. The problem is that the Hex Ruin is still standing, and sometimes this can be the right play. For example, to prevent the killer to have multiple pop kicks, if you expect the killer to bring that as well, and if you have the control over the generators, then a standing Hex Ruin can sometimes be nicer to you. However, once you're losing a survivor, one is in chase, one is on hook, and one is going for the rescue, so all survivors are not able to work on the generators any longer, and at this point, Hex Ruin is doing a lot of damage. The fact that the survivor team was not able to remove that Hex Totem did a lot of damage here. Nice attempt there, but unfortunately not working. I would love if they get the 4th generator here. It would be a huge change to the win condition, forcing the upcoming survivor team to get all 5 generators completed, because then your Spirit could play around the 3 gen. She could try to defend one area of the Wrecker's Yard, but 4K with 2 gens remaining is kind of rough. Tutti Frutti though looks like a very confident Spirit that I don't really see giving this out of hand, at least not in terms of the gens. So I think what our survivor team could attempt now is accepting the 4K2, sending in your best Spirit player, really trying to motivate him. Listen, you have to play a perfect trial, you have to match 4K2, and if you now take a last second escape through the exit gates, then you could prevent a tie from happening and take the Spirit set with a 4K2 on the other hand. And I think this end game play through the exit door, this is something the survivor team should focus about.
Yeah, 100%. I think you're right there, as we do see the pickup there, and actually really good pickup, because Spirit was not in the greatest of places to get back there either. Phasing up on top of the hill to see if we can get a good venture. We do find Rebecca. Now, it is worth noting that Rebecca is our unbreakable survivor here. So if we were to commit there, which we are not, that could have been a very interesting play, as we are going to find Ada back on this gen, trying to get that last gen pop, trying to make it so that there's only 1 gen on the board for that win condition. Are we going to have a Z-Wall moment? Could this be a... Oh, big miss there. We're cooking. We're cooking. Someone called Gordon Ramsay, because we're seeing a cook-off, a big life play, and we get the hit through the window. We're going to slug now. We're going to try and get this Rebecca. We're going to keep this at a 4K2. This is what I feel like is going to happen here. There's no point going for the hook. There's no point at all. But are we going to find Rebecca in time? Are they going to get the pickup again? Are they going to get working on that gen again? The issue is we've still got Ruin in play. So by now, any progress that Ada maybe did get onto that gen that we saw her working on a second ago is by far going to be depleted, I'm afraid. I don't know how I can see this playing out any other way. I really don't.
I do feel like they tried one attempt now of picking that survivor up. It didn't work, so now I think it's time to accept that Tutti Frutti is not going to let that happen. Hex Ruin still standing. Any generator progress by now is totally being nullified as well. So end game play it is, at least if you are asking me. We are seeing the pickup now coming through as well. Killer is aware that the hatch is spawning directly at the Killer Shack, since we're trying to remove RNG in the comp environment as much as possible. So North could set up at an exit gate, waiting for the hatch being closed, then going to for this very famous 15% tag, not showing the light first, making sure where the Spirit is. And if you then escape, you only have 11 stages, I believe it would be in this case, and then your Spirit will make a 4K2 with a clean 4K, and then you're breaking the tie. I think this is the chance for the survivor team here, and the optimal plan. They should be going for Rebecca. Waiting here, very fittingly, the skin says rescue, and this is really what we need to do for ourselves here. Our survivor will be forced to hang a little bit. You are not allowed to attempt an unhook for yourself besides having Deliverance active, and since we have seen Deliverance being in play already. We have 30 more seconds on the first stage. Then you can miss the skill checks intentionally. That's allowed. But even that takes a little bit of additional time. So our killer definitely has the chance to find Rebecca earlier than the survivor wants to.
Absolutely, and I think it'd be a huge, huge moment if Tutti Frutti does manage to find Rebecca here in the late stages. Like you say, if we do get an out by Rebecca, even bigger, you're saving a stage. Send your killer in, hype them up, give them a good old pat on the back and say, look, you've got this, 4K2, let's go, big, strong performance. But are we going to see that? Are we going to see that? I know where one of the exits are. I didn't quite see what the other exit is looking like. Can we see them both from the hill? No, we're split well. It's an opportunity, but are we going to see this come through? I'm not too sure. I'm on the edge of my seat here. I don't know what to expect.
It will be a gamble, that's for sure. A huge gamble for the killer, a huge gamble for the survivor as well. And yeah, what is going to happen? Tutti Frutti definitely going to close the hatch in a moment. North dropping the item here multiple times, making sure that no crow is coming in, and there's going to be the instant close of the hatch going towards this left side exit first. Will we find the survivor over here? Rebecca has been towards this outside of the map. Potentially she's hiding there behind the wheels, and we don't need the hill, but it's a very unfortunate setup for the exit doors. The Spirit will be able to stand right in the middle, having a good line of sight to both exit gates. For the killer, the moment to celebrate when you realize that you have an end game like this. For the survivor, it's time to send an email to behavior and complain about the RNG element. This is definitely unfortunate for our Rebecca. She's trying. Spirit already visible in the background. We will now have the face, and there's no way that Tutti is allowing to leave that open to Rebecca. So therefore it's going to be a very clean 4K with a little bit of ballerina celebration while bringing the survivor towards the hook. Very, very nice work. 4K on 2 gens remaining will definitely be an upcoming great survivor trial for Valentines. They're going to come in with a lot of confidence after this killer trial. For Excellence, the first moment where they have a little bit of pressure here, because having the tie condition of 4K 2 gens is definitely going to be very, very hard. But we will find out if it's going to be the possibility here for Team Excellence. On the killer side, we're switching the sides, ladies and gentlemen, and we will bring you back to the Wrecker's Yard right after a very short break. Welcome back, everyone, to the Wrecker's Yard, and the Spirit win condition would be a 4K on 3 gens remaining for Team Excellence. That will be a very hard task to do. 4K on 2 gens is something that we see sometimes on the Spirit, and then we would start off the Scrim Night with a nice tie and being equal with each other, which is definitely something we can all agree on to be great. And as soon as the survivors are getting 4 gens completed, we would have the first set point going to the Valentines. Therefore, the pressure is high, especially on the killer side, and Noshua, the worst thing that can happen to you when you are having pressure on the killer side is having silence on the map, not finding a survivor early on. 60 seconds expired on the corrupt intervention already. This is not looking great.
No, it's not looking great at all. I mean, if you think back to what we just watched a moment ago, the first hit came in so early. I almost couldn't believe it. In fact, the first hook came in so early, but it looks like they are just going to be taking their time, playing it slow, waiting out the corrupt. I think this is a good play by them. Get some good progress on the gens. There's no ruin in play, which I'm sure they've tested for, so it's definitely an interesting play. But are we gonna... Right, we're finally getting to our first chase here, almost coming to an... Oh no, we're not gonna commit there. We are going to go pressure the gens that have now got plenty of progress. A good decision, and we see a fantastic hit there through the phase, should I say, by Bracket, and we are going to switch it over to the ace. Do I call them Bracket or Smiley Face? Which one are we going for?
I would say Smiley Face, because that brings some joy on the Rackers yard. Also, someone asked who is the killer, which team. It is Excellence. You can see it in the scoreboard on the top left. There are little indicators with the killer logo and the survivor logo. You might not notice it immediately, but once you're spotting it, you will be informed for the reminder of the match. That's a very nice down, though, that we are getting now. We have an injury on top of that. Unfortunately, we are losing the generator, and it is the generator right next to the hook, so it would have been huge to apply the pop goes the weasel kick, and then having this generator and the hook stage together. This way it's going to be a little bit more difficult for Smiley Face. That's going to be a very nice injury. We cannot follow that survivor because we have a generator to take care of over here. The pop goes to weasel kick, though, will be a nice penalty onto the survivor team, making sure that they are not going to have the second gen ready to go. It looks like we are receiving a reset, at least onto the ace, which makes a lot of sense here, considering that this would be the survivor that we are ideally tunneling out, though we are not going into the longest chase with the healthy survivor already. The injury coming out, phase being attempted, but the phrase is too short. He does predict. No way, we are missing it twice. Very unfortunate for the Spirit. He was not expecting that there would be the vault by the ace, and then not expecting it again. Very intense moment right here. Unfortunately, that comes off the cost of another gen decisive strike as well. Our Spirit is having a very rough trial at the moment.
Absolutely a very rough trial at the moment. It's hard to keep up when the pressure is so heavy on you. I mean, I cannot. I'm still getting over the pallet situation just there. It's blown my mind. Absolutely blown my mind. But we do eventually get our tunnel out. Down, we are seeing a little bit of progress on the other side of the map, almost halfway there. Where did we go now, Spirit? We're going to go towards Shack. Are we going to go out to that corner, or are we looking for that survivor around the Shack? We're venturing quite far out. Are we going to see them go back for the secure? We're not. We are going to go pressure this gen out in the corner that is so very close to popping. But speaking of pop, we see that get applied there to the gen as they get the unhook on the other side of the map now. And we will see that reset. We find now Edward. We are going to be over there. We are switching it up now on to the Adam, who's also going to go to that comp corner that we love to see so much. Just buying your team that little bit extra time, getting the reset onto Ace. This is a tough start for the Spirit, but I'm sure we have got some exciting plays coming up soon. That is for sure.
Absolutely. Edward, unfortunately, a 2-minute hang time until the elimination, so the Spirit not really coming to a profit here. We have our policeman in chase. Hopefully it will not be a 2-tap coming out right here in this next chase. That's only what we can look for on this survivor side, but it seems like he will stay stronger than we were anticipating. Survivor in the distance, crossing from the Shack over towards the next generator, will not be successful though, and that's a little bit of a revenge here onto Tutti Frutti. Has just blamed the Spirit, so Smiley Face is saying, listen up, for 4 Chaos on 2 gens, you are going to receive an injury right here. Now we are following the Dwight, and I'm not entirely sure if this is the best play right here, because we are far away from the active gens, we are far away from the unhook that is happening now as well, and we are losing a lot of time right here. Even getting the down, which is nice, we are not really able to defend this hook stage afterwards, because we have to go back further on the opposite side of the Reckless Yard. Pop goes to Weasel on this generator, though, will be a nice addition. Tja, I feel like our killer is definitely in the weaker position here. The survivor team has managed to split the hook stages, but they also have moments where they allow really, really unfortunate injuries like this one. And if Smiley Face starts punishing them for that and gets quicker downs chained together, then we might see the turning into the 4K that we need here.
Absolutely, it is worth remembering 4K2 is what we need. We see the unhook on the other side of the map coming through now, remembering that there is a gen on that side of the map with a lot of progress still on it, even with the pop hit. Are we just going to see some time, not time wasting as such, but time management by the survivors here? I think so. 4K2 is what is needed for the win condition. We've seen a good amount of progress on the gens. We've had a full reset on the survivor team now as well, with the tap being the only person here that is injured. But we are going to head back over to that side of the map, knowing that there's going to be pressure over there. The hook reset was there. There's going to be two people around, as we do find two. No, we go for Edward there. I don't know how I would play this myself. I feel like this is such a tough position to be in, with so much opportunity, I think is the word, to still make this condition. But we're gonna see the flashlight save and the double blind come through. That is huge. That is absolutely huge. You're basically resetting everything that the killer has just done in order to get that survivor on the floor. And we're going to be going on to the healthy survivor here. The gen has blocked.
Oh, that is so rough for the killer. That is the punishment right there, the third generator. So the only thing that we have now is playing for a tie. And I was about to say, if you have this hook stage and then you are able to put another one in, then you would be able to potentially stop the survivor team. But this flashlight save, as you mentioned, reset everything the killer has achieved, and the fourth gen is being thrown at the killer right afterwards, meaning that the Valentines are the dominant part in the Spirit set. They are going to take that first set point. And now it's important how it's going to be played out, because the Valentines in the upcoming game on the Mastermind, they will start on the survivor side. So if they are going to be confident here, if they take some outs, they will go into the Mastermind set with their survivor team with a ton of confidence, and it will make them really, really strong. So Smiley Face has a serious interest in 4K'ing the team excellence right here to make Valentine's right here to make sure that they are not becoming too much of a self-esteem. It's also going to look really hard. We have a 3-chain in line, and it looked like twice now that our killer has a little bit of internet issues that are coming on top of that now, almost lagging out. We can only hope that it stays stable for now, but there it is. Fifth generator coming out. Insane what Valentines is bringing on the table here. When you say we are a new team that is trying to bring us the best thing that we can ask for, this is really what we're trying to look for. Now it looks like we have a technical difficulty though on the killer side again. Yeah, that looked like an understandable DC though, because he was 2 times lagging really severe. Looks like he has the same internet as me, living in a mountain village. Very unfortunate. Of course, it counts as all survivors escaping. I don't think it matters much here because we have the first set win condition already met. So it's a 1-0 for Valentine. Excellence is going to stay on the killer side. Potentially, they even have to find a new killer player now who's taking the responsibility on the Mastermind. Not entirely sure how severe this internet cut is. But one thing we can say for sure, Valentine's is looking dangerous. If they will be able to stay this dangerous is something that we are going to find out in the second set. Ladies and gentlemen, grab a short drink of water, a little bit of popcorn, or call your parents and tell them that you love them. We will see you in just a moment, right after this very short break.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the second set here against Excellences and Valentines. We are going to see Excellence on Wesker to begin with. A different killer this time. We're not going to be seeing Tutti Frutti. Noed in play as well as we see our first survivor with the firecracker play as well to get away, make a bit of distance. I'm excited to see the Wesker set, especially now seeing the Noed perk there as well. I'm excited. We've had a really good first set with the Spirit. I was very, very impressed by what we saw there. I'm looking forward to the Wesker set. What about you, Dyer? What are your thoughts going into this game?
Oh, I'm 100% with you there. Valentines is looking really strong. Excellent. Looks like a team that can fight. So we will see if the Mastermind is maybe going for them a little bit more, because we need to keep in mind this is excellent set now. Valentine said we are good on the Spirit, we want to play the Spirit, so they definitely showed us and they met up with the expectations. And Valentine's is definitely not looking as confident anymore. We can already say that here after the very first chase. That was a very unfortunate attempt by our Pizza Dwight. And now it's going to be Edward, Torselman, and Scroller to be in the responsibility of at least getting the first generator done. We have a very nice Cold Tower 3 gen that is usually spawning up here. Ace has been working on this generator on the top side. Nice patience there by our Mastermind. Not sure we can tell why Excellence took the Mastermind here.
Absolutely. I'm seeing some very, very impressive plays here. It's heating up so quickly. I feel like we've got so much pressure on the board already. 2 survivors into spray. We've had a first top stage, 3 survivors injured. It's a great start, it really is. And the best map for it, the Comp Tower, this is one of my favourite maps in DBD. Survivor or Killer, it's my favourite one to play on. I'm guilty, it is. And we are seeing a really, really strong performance. One gender that is very close to being done. We are on our tunnel out with Tutti Frutti. Really nice mind games by our killer here. I'm enjoying watching this. This is strong. There's something nice to remember. Oh, as we get a fantastic hit to secure the tunnel out. I was about to speak about how we're not going to see that hindered effect come in as soon as normal since it got nerfed, but it doesn't matter. We secure the hit nice and early. 2 gens are done now, so pressure is going to be on. We do have our tunnel out, but we still have 2 survivors injured as we go on to our Adam here. Nice little bit of juking, but I do believe he is in a bit of a dead zone here, so he is going to go edge map, try and buy a little bit of time. Can we get over to that hook in time for the tunnel out? We see the For the People come through. I was wondering what on earth I'd seen then. We do see the For the People come through on Tutti Frutti, but we are going to be continuing with that tunnel out. Very, very close to hindered, and of course 1 grab potential here as well. If we can get a 1 tap to secure this, that'd be huge. Saving time and a great use of power there. Absolutely great. A fantastic set in my opinion so far. Really, really fantastic.
Absolutely. Right after the Spirit set, you have taken a difficult loss on the side of Excellence. Valentine's came out really, really dominant, and now you are saying, okay, this is our killer, this is our set. Valentine's, listen up, and they are delivering. Valentine's is not looking as confident at all anymore. Excellence is being the team now that is stepping up here and making sure that they are staying under pressure. I think this reset is needed on the survivor side, since we're losing 1 survivor and we're going into the very slowed down 3v1. We still have the very typical whole Tower 3 gen as well, so this will be nice for our killer to defend. Someone asked in chat, how is the balancing team usually approaching the balance for a tournament? Usually, I think it's fair to say we are aiming for an average of 6 to 8 stages, though it's not always possible. For example, with an S-tier killer like a Nurse, you will not really be able to balance that for 6 stages, because if you want to force 6 stages on the Nurse, you would need to throw a lot of second chance perks on the survivor team. And if you do that so much, then you have an RNG effect again. Is the killer lucky or unlucky tunneling the decisive strike survivor and so on? So for S tier killers, it's more like, do we get outs or not? For normal killers, it's around the 6 to 8 stages mark. And then some expectations are taken. For example, the Wraith on the Dead Dog Saloon is intentionally really made strongly, so we can see a weaker killer coming in clutch there and seeing how a survivor team is dealing with that. For all detailed information though, I would recommend you are opening a ticket in our Discord server and pinging Laser inside the ticket, because he will be able to provide much more information than I can. It's going to be the non-successful dodge by Scroller here, getting the next injury as well. Survivor team under so much pressure. Mastermind playing out of his mind at the moment, really getting everything that he needs. I was just about to say, would be great if we get the third injury as well, and it seems like we are already on the way of achieving that. Third injury, 3 gens still there. 1 survivor removed from the trial. Excellence is playing out of their minds right now.
Absolutely, and that was almost an insane grab just there as well. Unfortunate to get hit on the corner there. Worth noting, all survivors now infected, all survivors injured, 2 gens remaining on the map. I'm getting to a point at the moment where I'm wondering if we're going to see Noed come into play. This has been a fantastic performance. We get the grab. I was kind of lost for words there. I didn't know what to expect. We get the grab there onto Adam. Fresh hook state on the board, and we are going to see the survivors resetting on the other side of the map. Really strong performance here. Mastermind in more ways than one, that is to be said. And it looks like we are going to be committing... No, we're not going to be committing to the shack here. We are going to be looking for that survivor that we did see running this direction. And we see them. Right, big thing to think about here. They are one tap. Do you see this come through? No, they're not one tap. My mistake. Really good play. Straight stopper. And we are still going to see Adam there on the hook, getting unhooked there. We're not going to go for the basement play. We are going to try and push the pressure back down the other side of the map where the 3 gen is, around the coal tower. A really interesting set. I'm really enjoying seeing this from our killer. Really good set so far.
Yeah, Excellence is doing a fantastic job. Edward will need to make sure that he's not going down anytime soon. What we need now in the mid game is a longer chase. We need to gain time back for the unhook, for the reset, spreading on the gens again and getting some necessary percentages in. And right now is the perfect chance. The killer is down here at the shack side. The 3 gen is without the defense. So Edward needs to be on a run. He has a couple of good windows here, might be able to chain that back into the shack, but the double vault is never going to be successful since the killer can just move around in time. Therefore, the quick down coming through with the agitation, with the brutal strength, also the pallets not going to be the most valuable resources to keep the killer busy. Therefore, windows are turning into your friends here. Our killer is too strong, and we have seen the 2 survivors that were just about to go for a reset. The problem is now that we have an injured survivor still up here inside of the 3 gen. That is not where you want to be. This is not where you want to be found, and therefore we can only hope that our detective is able to put up a longer chase, quick break of the pallet as well. When you have brutal strength, you can just go for that mid-map if necessary. Mind games not going to be successful though. So the survivors are fighting hard, and Valentines is showing us they have these necessary qualities on their survivor side. The problem is that the Mastermind is always one step ahead of them here.
Absolutely, it's really nice to see that they're able to show us, as we get a really nice hit onto the ace, they're really are trying to show us, look at us, we can cope with this pressure, we can push forward. The killer here, we interrupted a reset at the comp tower, and now we've got the full reset. We're in an alright position here. Can we get onto the gens? I don't know what to expect at the end here. it's been a fantastic match. It really has. Really good show of skill from both teams. Like you say, the Mastermind absolutely in full swing. We've seen some incredible grabs from our Wesker here. As we are going to go back for the tunnel out. No, we are not going to go back for the tunnel out. At this point, is it better to maintain the stages? I'm unsure of how I would play this myself at this current moment, because these guys are just pulling out some incredible plays. It's really nice to see. And we are going to see two survivors here at the log pile getting this gen done. This isn't in the 3 gen though, so getting that gen done is not going to be good in the 3 gen. We are going to go ahead and pressure it anyway. That missed skill check could be pivotal, but we're not going to go for the kick. We are just going to go straight on for the chase, straight onto our tunnel out here as well, adding that little bit more pressure every single time as we get a great hit here. I don't know what to expect. I really don't.
Yeah, you would hope that the survivors are able to get at least all generators, I feel like. There would be obviously the deluxe case, we could say. Once again, though, we're talking about this difficult win condition of getting at least a 4K1, right? Because then we know the call tower. There is a tricky 3 gen on the top side, so if you are able to complete one more gen, then you allow your killer for Team Valentines in the upcoming trial to take the protection of the 3 gen, 4King the survivor team on 4K1, potentially taking the tie. So one more gen would be really what we need, and the responsibility for that is now on Edward. Edward needs a long chase to make sure that Detective Tab will be able to work on the gens, but our killer doesn't even allow that. He wants to return as quick as possible towards the top side, and we see that was a wonderful call right there, really proving the game sense, being aware how much time do I have to work on the generators, how much time do I have to go into a chase. All these calculations on killer and survivor side are needed in a situation like that. And Mastermind here with a really perfect calculation, finding the Tab who was trying to corner attack and is able to dodge as well. Very unfortunate. We have seen the other gen was at least 50%. A longer chase might still lead to the result of 4 gens done.
Absolutely, and I think it'd be absolutely huge to get the 4K1 potentially as the win condition. I've got to say, this performance by Excellence's killer has got to have sparked a lot of confidence in their team now. We know how well Valentines played in that first set with the Spirit set. This now is going to be instilling a lot of confidence in Excellence's team, as we do see that kick prevention coming in on the gen, but is it going to matter? Adam's still trying to prolong this chase, but we are going to get the grab there. No dukes this time, and we are going to see the hook stage come through. Hooking it Shack. Obviously, we know where this hook is going to spawn. Hatch is going to spawn. My mistake, too busy thinking about the hook. And we are now going to see what could potentially be the 4K2 come through.
Very unfortunate. Now, once again, Detective Tab as the final survivor with a huge responsibility, as we have seen for Team Excellence earlier on the Spirit set. Will you be able to at least get a stage out of the door, making sure that if your killer meets this result, you are breaking the tie condition? And the answer is, we are so close of getting that, but unfortunately, it is a second too early that the killer is coming onto the top side here. Tab not able to do that. Such an unfortunate trial. Valentines coming out of the Spirit set with such confidence, then having a very, very tricky trial, and on top of that, you're having such an unfortunate finish here. That will be difficult for their killer coming out in the upcoming trial. You will not feel the best here.
Yeah, absolutely. 4K2 is an incredible win condition to be laying down right now. I can't believe how close that was, literally seconds away. If we had gone to the other door, completely different situation on our hands. Completely different situation on our hands. We end up with stages through the door. We don't get that 4K. It had been a completely different win condition altogether. But that's not the case. As always, with comp, anything can happen, and we love to see these tight games, really do. That's going to give Excellence a lot of confidence going in to their Survivor round. Next game, we are going to be seeing, obviously, Valentines on the Mastermind. Exciting times ahead. Strong win condition in place. I'm expecting an incredibly aggressive game on our hands in this next match. I can't wait for it to get started. I'm so excited.
Also, I don't know if this person is right here in the chat right now, but our Nightbot is sometimes posting a link saying if you would like to support future events, you can send us a donation. It is used for the prize pool, the production, and everything. And the name is a little bit dark. It's Death Kiss My Face. Not sure if this person had a tricky Wednesday maybe or Thursday that we have today, but they say, keep up the great work. I've been playing the game for only 3 years or so, and this is the first bit of Comp DBD I've watched. Props to the hard work you put in and the entire team. So thank you so much for the support with a very, very generous donation there. You are making DBDL possible. You are making possible that we can bomb requests on our artists, that we are making sure we are having the best possible production. Right when talking about the artist, there's also an artwork being sent to me to review that you will see very soon. So thanks a lot for that. The same goes for everyone who is watching the ad breaks. We know they are annoying sometimes. We are trying to put them on the break. Sometimes Twitch is a little bit tricky and puts that inside of the gameplay. But if you have the patience to watch the ad breaks we're doing, you can be ensured the earning from that is going straight into the organization. Same for all the subs, all the cheers, and everything that you're doing. So thanks a lot for that. We appreciate your support. And while we are switching the sides, we'll go on a short break. The casters will grab a glass of water, and you should do the same. Therefore, see you in a couple of moments, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate you. Welcome back, everyone. Here we are with the campfire chat. The DBD servers are striking at the moment. We have tried to load in a couple of times. Maybe this attempt will be successful. We are hoping for it. No, there are only 2 survivors that made it successfully. That's very unfortunate. We are trying our best, ladies and gentlemen. In the meanwhile, while we are coming here together with a wonderful community, do you have any questions about Season 9, about our events, how DBDL works, anything like that? If you have a question in mind, please ask us. About the looping Billy, that was Spitz looping Grenout on the Z-Wall. Yeah, so a little bit of small talk, Noshua. Going into the Mastermind set with a very difficult win condition here, how do you expect the teams to play this? Like, for example, this Survivor team. Will we see a very careful approach, or will they be aggressive?
I think we're going to see a very careful approach. I think it'd be dangerous to play aggressive given what is on the line. I think we're going to see a very aggressive killer approach, but I think we might be participating in a little bit of a game of hide and seek to begin with, maybe. I think it's sensible to start off slow here. The win condition is so tight. 4K2 is not an easy feat at all. But you never know what you are going to witness in these games at all. But 100%, I think the correct play here from the Survivor side would be a slow approach, and really get a feel for what the killer's plan is going forward. But yeah, I think slow is going to be the way forward here.
Absolutely. Have to agree on that. And there have been a couple of questions towards us. So what has been your favorite season so far? Actually, season 9, because of the very close fight for the playoffs and so many very strong teams. Are you also playing in a comp team as well? No, I have played comp. First on Golden Wolves, my own team, and then on Team Cold. But I'm not playing in comp anymore. Because DBDL is taking too much time. Will you allow Momo to play next season? Momo is a case that we do not discuss in DBDL anymore. He is not going to play in our events. Has iPick ever commented? Yeah, Savannah replied, called the team member a clown. And I think, will more killers be added next season? I don't think it will be more than 19. 19 is already a very huge killer pool, but it will be different killers, that's for sure. We are discussing the Huntress, for example. Should be an alien in discussion as well. We will definitely see a few switches for the All Hallows League. Usually on the All Hallows League, we also see some Halloween-themed killers towards the end, which is always also always something that we're trying to put up for the All Hallows League. And for example, we had in the past the Hillbilly with no audio, with the add-ons where he's basically jump scaring you out of nowhere. We had a Myers on Hawkins being forced, things like that. So this would be some things to look into. Let's see what's going to happen. I also think that we lost Terracon. Just refresh, we're back in the game because finally the servers allowed us to go in. So let's see what's happening. That's a very interesting interaction that happened there. Not sure. Getting the grab and the survivor still being able to throw the pallet. What the heck?
Don't you just love DBD sometimes? A very interesting interaction. Absolutely, but it's going to pay off here. I'm loving the fact that we're seeing agitation. It just kind of shows to us how aggressive we're wanting to play. Down the survivor, get them on hook as quick as possible. Other than that, looking like a very similar matchup in terms of perks. Let's not forget, this win condition's tight. We got to secure the win here with 2 gems remaining. It's so tight, but I'm looking forward to it nonetheless. We see Smiley Face on the hook here. We have got North X Temple and Ryuga. I think I said that correctly. Playing Survivor and Tutti Frutti back on Killer here as well for Valentines, who, as we can remember, had that fantastic Spirit set, the first one that we saw tonight. But yeah, that interaction there at the pallet for that down was quite something, that is safe to say. We are going to be focusing here on the tunnel out. Shack pallet is going straight away. An interesting game is on our hands. It's got to be fast, it's got to be aggressive. I wasn't expecting survivors to get found so early, I'm going to be honest with you. I thought it was going to be a lot slower than this, and we get another great grab there. Was that another interesting interaction? I'm not too sure, but we are going to see the tunnel out coming into play. Are we going to be able to interrupt this gem? We are going to interrupt it. Nice little hook there. We are going to see the wiggle out. No, we're not. Whoa. That is huge. Absolutely huge. Applying. No, the eruption's not going to get applied. My mistake due to the cooldown on it there. But we are going to see a huge interruption in that gen there and securing the hook stage at the same time. Fantastic bit of play there from Tutti Frutti. You love to see it.
This was really punishing, actually. The fact that they got an injury on the survivor that was working on the generator, still having to deal with the hook stage, and right now a little bit giving up on the gen, or at least being in the position where they need to put a lot more time and resources into that generator. That is coming out really punishing for the Survivor team here. So Mastermind feeling great about that. Keep in mind, everyone, we need 4 gens completed for Team Excellence to take that second set point and putting it onto a 1-1. And making the killer run like this is the key to success. First generator is coming out. It was the one where we just had a very punishing reset. So I would expect that we also have at least a second generator where we have quite a significant amount of progress. 3 injured survivors though. I'm not sure if that is... What's the next interaction like that? Behavior! What's happening? We are having therefore the very unfortunate elimination here, which is quite punishing. Here, this weird interaction with, I don't know, I will call it an interaction with the server, or it's a bug on the killer side, but it's at least a little bit impacting the survivor side. So they now need to find a strong mindset to deal with that. Nice stun here by the J, but they need 2 more generators. Will we be able to do that? That's the question here. Then we would at least have to tie 3 more gens. Then we would be able to take the win. North in a good chase so far, even though when injured, not allowing the Mastermind to take a quick down. Will it come out with these 2? The answer is no, making it in time towards the main building. North just with an absolute fantastic chase.
Absolutely, a really, really good chase there, buying the team time to get some more progress on the gens. 2 gens is all that is needed, and if I'm right, we've got 2 gens with a lot of progress. We are moving over to this one here where you can hear it there ticking away. Back on Jake at the main building. Main can be horrible at the best of times to loop around. In fact, we can count that as 3 gens with high progress. We've got main with quite a decent amount as well. It is worth saying as well, the 3 gen at main is now broken. That makes things incredibly interesting. Can you... And the second... We're there. 2 gens left. This is huge. I'm in shock.
Absolutely.
As quick as that.
Great efficiency on the survivor side, pushing it at least towards the tie here. Making sure that they have everything that they need. Now is the chance. You could go for the endgame escape, basically, in case you do face a potential 4K, get someone out of the hatch or the exit gates, and making sure that Valentines is not reaching 12 stages. Then you would take the set. The other way is quite more easy. You need to have the... How is he... Okay, interesting. The other chance would be 1 more generator. That's a much easier win condition in that regard here. Wesker trying to go around it. Not going to work just yet. And we still need more chases that are lasting for quite some time. Not getting the injury right there, making it over towards this filler pallet. Will we be able to put Wesker on a huge run? So far, it really looks like that. Strong bolt coming out. Nice mind game, unfortunately. A little bit panicking and going into the double vault here. And this generator is so close next to the shack. It already has 3%, an insane pressure that is coming out. How is the killer able to deal with that? The nerves must be shaking on the killer side. 4% by now in that generator. So close by the survivor team right here. Will we see the win condition being met? That's going to be the question. Yeah, let's see what they are trying to do. Hello, Tab. That was not the direction to run in.
Definitely not the direction to run in, especially when you've got a gen on 4% so close to being popped. That's a lot of pressure to be giving up. We see, though, that we are going to be moving over to the A, so we're just trying to get to that hook stage now. Maybe. It's so hard to call. We bought so much good time in that first chase there with X Temple. It was a really, really nice chase. A shame that the double mind game didn't pay off. But nonetheless, we are still here in such a riveting tie. There's that gem with a hell of a lot of progress.
Are you trying to make me angry?
And we're going into a bit of a dead zone, because if I remember right, I think the shack pallet got dropped quite early on now, so this area is not safe in the slightest. We are just going to be taking it over into the corner to try and buy our team a little bit of time. We do see the eruption pop there, but our Mastermind does have agitation. Really going to see some value coming through here. Being able to traverse the map a little bit quicker, but we are going to see that gen pop through, taking out that win condition. One gen remaining. Do you think we're going to see some escapes through the door here?
I would hope so. It would be a very nice reward, I feel like, for exciting. They had a very rough Spirit match. They're coming back on the Mastermind. They have a strong killer, and they have a very strong survivor side as well, as we can see, potentially pushing it into the 5th generator. And I feel like taking an out and going into the end game here, taking stages away from Valentines would be something that is really also setting your mind straight and your confidence for the upcoming set with the Nurse. And for the Nurse, it is important to have confidence on the survivor side. So for Excellence, we can only hope that they are achieving it. Yet my hope is not the highest, because the survivors are now in a cycle of being in chases, unhooks, resets, and so on. And since there are only 3 remaining, if the Mastermind is not making a mistake, they shouldn't be able to complete all the gens. Also, I don't know why, but I'm getting bullied in the community night by asking me what dementia is. For everyone who doesn't understand it, it became a very sad insider that every time when I read it, just triggers grey clouds, rain, thunderstorm, and so much more. But it is what it is. We can deal with it. X-Temple on the hook, 2nd hook stage, and knowing that North is around as well. Yeah, not sure I have to correct my wish for the Team Excellence here. I feel like with the 5th generator, they could already be very lucky.
Absolutely. I mean, the ending to this game here has really took a bit of a turn, in my opinion. I think it's not what I expected. Good amount of progress on this gen here, though. A really strong performance, though, by Excellence. This was their pick. The Wesker pick was Excellence's pick, and do you know what? It shows their confidence has brimmed this game. It's been really fun to watch. Tutti Frutti, though, not to take away from them, have played very well. It's been a very tough game. We're still seeing, you know, a lot of stages through on the board that they've managed to secure on the hook. Unfortunately, not enough, but again, a really strong performance, as we do see X-Temple now out of the trial. We will be seeing this 4K1 come through as well. But again, a really good set. Both teams showing how well they can perform. I really enjoyed this set. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Exceptional gameplay from both teams, and a lot of confidence going in to our 3rd set for Excellence.
Wonderful job done by them, pushing it into the 1-1. We have a clean tie right here, and trying to set it back on. Everything is open. Basically, we are now going to play a completely normal best of 3. The first 2 sets have shown us both teams can deal with each other. Both teams have great strategy when under pressure. Both can deal with a difficult win condition. This is what we have seen so far. On top of them, we know that they are both able to keep each other in check. Valentines 1 set and Excellence 1 set. Therefore, this is the most hype that you can ask for. And having the Nurse to tell us in set number 3 who is the better team when it comes to fast-paced decision-making. Who is the best team when it comes to this very quick decision-making, where you don't have a lot of time for communication, a lot of time for readjusting your strategy. This is something exciting. We are setting it up on the call tower, ladies and gentlemen, and we will show you the Nurse after a short intermission.
Welcome
And-
back, everyone. Sorry, I didn't know if we was back or not at that point. That's my mistake. Welcome back, everyone. We are going into our third set here with Nurse. It is Valentine's pick, so we are seeing Valentines here going straight away, checking over the ruin to see if anyone was nearby, but we're all good there. Looks like we're going to be seeing a slow start. Expected. It's an aggressive killer. I was always going to be thinking that we was going to get a slow start here. What are we expecting to see, Di? Are you expecting to see some fast-paced elements? Are we thinking slow throughout? I don't know what to expect. These new teams excite me so much because everyone has a different play style when it comes down to such a strong killer as Nurse.
Yeah, it's always amazing to see how they are going for the mind games, if they're going for the aggressive, very risky double blinks, or if they're going to keep it safer. It seems like Kobe is not completely sure just yet. We've seen some attempts on going for the risky double blinks, but the survivor, especially Smiley Face here in this first chase, is really staying stronger than that, leading the Nurse all the way into this corner of the map, which means that we're having a lot of access towards the gens, and that's going to be the down right here. We should see the punishment with one generator, I feel like, especially since we had access towards the top set generator. One unfortunate generator down here was with the corrupted intervention as well. The dying light also not coming in clutch just yet, because unfortunately Smiley Face is the obsession, and usually we are seeing tunnel outs in the Nurse set, so dying light might have a very unfortunate run in this trial.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's definitely going to be an interesting one to see play out. I really did think we was going to see a gem pop by now. I mean, we're very close, but you know, we're seeing that ruin eat away at progress there. I know what you're saying with the risky double blinks. We've seen it attempted. Maybe that's showing us the confidence factor, but we are going to be going straight onto the tunnel out. We have a nice little double back there from Smiley Face. Yeah, not the beginning that I was expecting. We do finally see that first gen come through. And again, in that corner map, we see the double blink pay off, and that is going to be our second stage coming in here. No, we get the decisive pop. Can we make enough distance? This is the big thing with Nurse. She can cover that ground so well. A really interesting play. I don't know what to expect here. We're going to get it there. We do, but we also see the second gen popping through. We are going to see the punishment coming in here for our Nurse. 2 gens completed, 2 stages on the board with our tunnel out. Could we potentially see a third somewhere? I'm unsure at this point.
There's a small chance, I feel like, and one thing that we can definitely note down is that things are taking a little bit too long on the side of the Nurse. We already need the elimination by now. We need to be quicker with the injuries and the downs. At the very beginning, this chase with the Smiley Face that took too long, we are still suffering from the effect in the mid game right here. The survivors are not injured by majority. They don't have to make the decision yet. Are we going to play risky, or are we going into the reset? We are having confident plays like this one onto the forehead of the Nurse. It seems like excellence has been taken. A lot of confidence from the previous trial on the Mastermind. They're definitely back in business right here. Third generator coming out, only 2 hook stages so far, and Claudette being on a great run. This one though was a good comeback by the Nurse, very confident and straight blink, taking the risk and the reward for that, but we will need more blinks like this if we want to keep the survivor team under control here.
Absolutely, we confirm that tunnel out, but there are only 2 gens remaining. Like you say, we're going to need to see a lot more positive blink sets in that sense. if we're going to see the play that this nurse is so desiring. Ruin still up. We do see the hit coming across there on our ace. 2 people injured. We're going to see the commit. Really nice second blink there out of line of sight, just predicting where that survivor is going to be. You'll love to see it. And we're going to go for the slug here, trying to apply that extra bit of pressure. Can we get a quick down onto X Temple to keep that pressure up? We know that the Jake is going to be working on a general, and he's going for that pickup. We do see our hit down onto X Temple, but we are in the same breath going to see Excellence get the pickup on the complete other side of the map. Really, really tough spot to be in right now.
Yeah, this is how quick it can turn. On the other hand, when you're playing a nurse set, you're looking confident at the beginning on the one hand, and just a few seconds later, it can all fall a little bit apart. Kobe here with the very delayed, but still, at least he got the elimination, definitely in a better position. X Temple is going to find the heal he needed as well. And the good news for the Survivor team is that we don't have anyone in chase right now. So we are gaining a little bit of extra time for the Survivor side, and we might get this reset for free. This would be a setback for the Killer now and the Survivor team coming back. So it's a great back and forth between 2 teams here. Excellence and Valentines really not giving a lot of wiggle room for each other, really stepping constantly on the other Survivor team and making sure that they are not getting anything for free. But so far, I still see a chance for Excellence. They found the full reset. They can now split up across the gens, and based on what we've seen before, they are able to take strong chases against the Nurse. In worst case, they can also go onto the top side right next to the Ruin Totem. They can do the generator over there, and then you have a nice 4K on 1 gen. Quite a standard result for the Nurse, so the possibilities are high here. Game seems to slow down. They don't want to run that straight onto the gens any longer, which is also understandable. You really want to prevent being found now. You really want to prevent taking the down too quickly. So it will be a patience game at this point, I feel like.
Yeah, absolutely. I do think it is a patience game, as we do see our Nurse secure a really nice hit onto X Temple in the corner of the map, taking the Nurse away from that 3-gen setup. But 100% it is going to be... Oh, and that's a lovely vault there from X Temple to get away from that hit that was, in my eyes, almost certain to come through. But we are going to see the down there and the gen pop. We're going straight for the slug. We're going to go pressure that gen over in the corner here. I think you're right in terms of taking things slow. This seems to me like one of those games where the game is really in the survival hands right now. But that being said, if this could be a quick down, things could change very quickly. Ruin is still up and it is eating away at the progress. We have now got the pickup on the other side of the map, and the Nurse is going to be leaving at north here to go back to that pickup. And we get them down straight away. What a lovely and an excellent hit over the pallet as well. Fantastic bit of play. How can we get this down now? The nice pause and wait on the double blink, but then we're going to get the down over the pallet. North is still injured somewhere on this map. We're going to go back to X Temple, who was the first down here. No, we're not. We're going to go pressure the gen in the corner. This is heating up nicely. The power switch is just immense. I really, really love how this is all playing out right now.
This was an insane blink, and this blink is again the evidence why the Nurse is so exciting to watch, because you are thinking, this is what we have right now, this is what we need, I expect the trial to go like this, and then you have one insane teleport and 2 survivors are slugged onto the ground. Our Jake is in the distance, so the Survivor team is not attempting to go for the rescue just yet, which is, in my opinion, understandable. 4K1 is kind of a standard result, so once again, you would have the chance to go for an end game play. Your killer will go 4K1 as well, and then you're breaking the tie by making sure that you're getting more stages out of the door last minute, but it's also understandable that they at least want to give it one attempt. The difficulty is that Hex Ruin is still in the trial, so any progress they are putting into the generator is lost when going for rescues like this and will lead to a huge setback on the Survivor side. Therefore, Kobe hopefully able to shut it down quickly here, because if the Survivors would now get too much time on the gens, they are potentially able to revert what Hex Ruin just did for him. Therefore, a quick down onto North is really what you want to see here. And Kobe will not be fine with just that. He wants more. He wants to take the risk. And he is in a position where he can take the risk. So the Survivor team really needs to watch out, because we are on the edge of getting a 4K1.
Absolutely, and on the topic of Kobe, as we just said there, with our killer's name, it is worth knowing that North is actually the deliverance player in this situation. So it's actually a really good thing for Valentines that they didn't just go, you know what, I'm going to secure this hook right here and then go on, because that would have been the Kobe straight away. So interesting play. I still think now if they can swipe a reset, that would be huge. Is it going to be possible with seeing scratch marks into the basement here? Hello? Are we in a lockdown? We are, yeah. Okay, great. Are we going to see this gem pop though? Not that I know of. There's not that much progress to my knowledge. But again, still, good amount of time being eaten up there by the Survivors. We have seen X Temple just moving away from agenda that he was working on. But again, like you just said, Dyer, Ruin is still in this trial. Any progress that you are making at the moment is just getting eaten up. And the Ruin is right there, right next to that gen that they've been working on. Do they cleanse it? Do they get rid of it, risking the pop stacks on the gens?
This could really backfire if they go for that, because the Nurse does get her hook stages, so having a pop kick every single time we're having a down is potentially setting back the gen much more than the Hex Ruin can actually do in that short amount of time. X Temple is now going on to hook here. We will see the deliverance coming out soon. So there's one last chance and one last scenario where the Survivors are pulling a comeback, but from now on they would really need to play on point. North will be found as well. The Nurse is aware that the Survivor is close to the hatch as well, so we will return in time later on. And what we're doing now is finding Ryuga. Will we be able to catch that Survivor? Is he somehow able to get that final generator? That are the questions for the remaining few moments here in this trial. Nurse going straight back, trying to catch off a potential reset or a rescue from the hook, but we don't find them anywhere. So maybe our Survivor team has actually decided to go for the end game play here.
Yeah, I think that is what we're seeing, because things have slowed down quite a lot here, and we are going to be... I was about to say we're about to be seeing the pickup here, but Nurse is surveilling the area. Maybe she knows that the ace is just going to be lurking around, waiting for the opportunity to get this pickup. We are going to see the pickup right there. A straight blink back. It's not going to be straight back on the floor for North, though. Manages to get away just in time. We are going to be working on getting the ace back down. I imagine North is going to go here for the unhook, using a bit more time, but that is a what could be a big miss there. We do see the unhook coming through to X Temple. Yeah, this is really going to be looking at the endgame scenario here, I think.
Unfortunate though, because I feel like our survivor team was really strong in the early game. There were multiple times in this moment where they had control over the cold tower, even though we have a difficult gen setup with the Hex Ruin, with the potential pop as a second punishment, and there it doesn't even matter that it's not a 3-gen that is close together with the perks and this killer. It can still be strong, and I admire how much they are trying. They are in this difficult situation. They are running after resetting, after unhooking. They are having so many tasks that are keeping them busy, but they are still fulfilling them. The fact that they haven't gotten 4K yet is showing us the great quality of this survivor team. They keep fighting, they keep struggling against this killer. They are not giving the 4K for free at all, and this is a very huge quality that this team excellence definitely brings on the table there. Extemple with another nice chase here as well will force the locker grab, so we cannot go for a slug party, not being able to snowball. So another chance basically coming out now for the survivors again. They can go for the full reset, perhaps they can go on the gens once again. Of course it will be painful, and of course it will take a long time to get it, especially with 2 survivors, but the fact that they are still standing and that they are trying is something that I really love here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really nice to see this sort of spirit being shown, really. It's fantastic to see. Will we now see maybe the Ace taking chase and North going on to the gen? It's yet to be seen, but definitely an interesting sale. Like you say, it's unfortunate given how well the survivors played at the beginning of the set that we ended up in the position where we are looking at the end game scenario, but we are going to see Ace now working on this gen. I think we've got a little spectator bug for the Nurse's point of view, because I can see North in chase. Okay, now we're fixed. Okay, there we go. So we are going to be getting North down in the corner, straight onto the hook. Big thing to remember, this is our deliverance hook. So in that essence, Ace can still commit onto this gen. Doesn't have to go right now. I've got a cross map, get back to that unhook. He can sell the gen, but the Nurse is going to be aware of that. We are going to be patrolling those gens, trying to find out what is happening here. And of course, we did see the deliverance come through. Nice and early, solid hit onto Ace. And we get the down there as well. North on the opposite side of the map. We're not going to go onto that gen. We're going to play things slow. We are in Slug City right now. Going to go try and find North to see if we can confirm our 4K1 here.
Yeah, it can be such a rough environment with the Nurse, especially on the cold tower, her home map, where she feels the strongest, where she feels the greatest. So survivor team, as we pointed out before, the fact that they were struggling so long, the fact that they were standing so long against the incoming 4K is showing the quality of this team. I feel like they would have deserved generator number 5, but maybe they can kind of balancing out by getting North out of the door here. I feel like they will not attempt another time to go for the rescue right here. North might be able to pull something last second, and then as I said, a 3-gen on the cold tower is something that you always receive, so your killer can potentially play with the 3-gen, you can potentially defend the 3-gen, and then you have a 4K1, and if you now get an end game escape, you would break the tie, taking the win here. But they are actually going for another rescue and another reset. So Ace and Jake will now be the two survivors that need to handle it out here. We are leaving as early as we can. Nurse can feel the pressure though. I feel like there it is wonderfully shown. We are on that generator. As soon as the Nurse is turning over to the generator, when we are leaving it. So there's also this difficult question: do I actually have enough time left to follow the ace? But now the chases are getting much shorter time out for the survivors as well. So I also feel like Kobe has drastically increased over the set that we've seen here.
Yeah, no, absolutely, I agree with, at the beginning we did see some things that maybe went a little bit too unpunished, maybe, but 100% we've seen a great performance in the end here, not rushing anything, taking time to secure these downs and not doing anything rash that could potentially cost an interesting win condition, to say the least. This is Valentine's pick. So, a great performance all round as we see the down on to North. Bearing in mind, bleed outs are coming into play as well, I believe.
No, not anymore.
Not anymore. Okay, ignore me. But we are coming close to that point on North right there. As
no way!
Shot.
What?
Huh? That's wild.
There is no way. What a slip from the nurse right there. Now, actually, when Valentines is only getting 4 gens out, it will no longer be a tie. Instead, Excellence would now take the win in the upcoming trial because they have only allowed 10 stages and the other team would be 12. So for Excellence, the win condition is no longer 4K on 2 gens standing when they are playing the killer. They can let 4 gens go. They can play for a 4K on 1 gen remaining and still take the win if it's a clean 4K. That is huge.
That is absolutely massive. I'm kind of lost for words at what just happened there. It's absolutely massive. I can't. What an unreal ending for such an exciting overall set. I'm in shock and in awe. I really, really am. Unbelievable.
This is crazy. The punishment for slugging, though, kinda. I have to agree with that. If you're not able to put so much pressure on the survivor team that you have time to go for the hook stages, then you can eventually find yourself punished. And this was the case right here. Wonderfully played by Excellence, though. This is not a play that you just randomly pull out of the sleeve. This is something that you have to discuss in VC. You have to show awareness for the incoming bleed out. You have discussed and set up this strategy. You need to perfectly time it, dying on the right side of the call tower, calculating the time it takes. So insane. Absolutely great play. Excellence for real. The team name really, really commenting on the gameplay there. So that's why I'm even more excited now to see what Valentines has as an answer for us, because the killer from Valentines hopefully not just letting Excellence getting away with that and instead finding a good answer and how to keep them under control. This is what we're going to see in a moment, but since we are already having the survivors entering the lobby, we can just have a little bit of chat. So once again, the offer: if you have any questions about Season 9s, if you have anything about the upcoming tournament, about how we're doing stuff, anything, just leave the question here. We can discuss them since we are on no delay. Can someone tell me the names of the casters? Sure, we can. My co-caster, my wonderful co-caster is Noshua, and I am Direwolf. Nice to meet you. Never lucky. Unfortunate though. I hope tomorrow will be better and more successful. But yeah, we see Tutti Frutti, Scroller, Edward, and Torso Man. So the standard survivor roster of Valentines, I feel like. I will just comment it like this. So we are going to see chemistry. We are going to see a prepared survivor team. And I hope they will be able to smash all the gems.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's got to be said, Tutti Frutti is a name that's going to stick with me for a long time. It's such a good name.
Absolutely.
I'm never going to forget that one.
Someone just asked if we can explain this game in Fortnite terms.
Oh, okay. So, no. I don't know. I wouldn't even know where to start with Fortnite. Daya, you're a Fortnite pro player. Come on, you've got
No.
I
I have
have some
never touched. I hate
explanations.
Fortnite.
But
I
you were
hate
telling
Fortnite.
me just before that you absolutely love Fortnite.
No.
You
This
was
is
even singing the
misinformation spreading.
little song, the "We Like Fortnite." That's what you was doing, no?
My twin brother. My evil twin brother was taking over my account playing Fortnite. No, but I've never played Fortnite actually. I love PUBG. I love Ring of Elysium. If you ask me, Ring of Elysium was the best battle royale game ever. It was only in early access, unfortunately, because the devs then made a couple of mistakes and never made the game better than PUBG. But Ring of Elysium was insane. It was basically a good old battle royale, but you were playing in a mountain region. You didn't necessarily need to eliminate all opponents to win and the last one standing. In the very last zone, there came a helicopter from the police trying to save the survivors, and they dropped a ladder hanging out of this helicopter, and the storm increased and increased. It was a nice music and soundtrack at the end. It was a nice wind atmosphere. Your screen started to freeze even more. And you had a very risky decision to make. Do you run to this ladder, trying to climb up into the helicopter? Or do you wait, sniping the other opponents? But if they are quick enough, then they are taking all the seats in the helicopter. It was so good. Ring of Elysium was one of the best games I ever played. But unfortunately, it never made it into a long run. Away with the nostalgia and back to DBD, we have Smiley Face playing and the Valentine survivors. Oh! A little bit of a greeting there onto the back, saying goodbye to the only server connection. And this is a punishing start for Valentines.
100%. This is a really, really quick start, unlike what we saw previously. It's going to pay off massively. I think there's a bit of a difference in the add-on choice as well, which could be interesting. Obviously, we are going to be seeing a little bit of no terror radius nurse, which is absolutely terrifying when you just hear the screeches coming at you from nowhere. We are going to find Tutti Frutti hiding behind a box, trying to see what his Amazon parcels are. Could this be another quick down? It is.
Wow.
2 very quick downs with 5 gens on the board. We're going to go for the slug. We've found Ace already. Could this be another hit? It can be another hit. This is a huge start of 5 gens. What on earth?
I think our killer has an absolute testosterone rush right now. Adrenaline kicking in. Confidence kicking in, and he wants to go for more. You have to watch out though. If you are getting a little bit ahead of yourself and taking a little bit too much risk, you might be punished by the survivor team. So we need to make sure that we are not going a little bit too wild. And I don't know what he was at swinging there, but this is not even hitting on a laggy server from South America to Europe. So buddy, you're not going to take this down, and I feel like the nurse calmed down now, and the very first roller coaster is coming to an end here.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think we had a bit of an excited puppy moment for a second there, where we're going absolutely crazy, full of beans, but we've been brought back down to earth as we find Tutti Frutti there, fresh hook state, just hiding away in the locker, maybe checking his Instagram notifications or something, or maybe even making sure he's following DBDLeague on all the relevant socials. Who knows? But we are going to see a little bit more pressure on the gens. Full reset on the team. Tutti Frutti fresh hook stage as we see the unhook come through. A really, really exciting start to this game. I think, if anything, Smiley Face has proven as well, the skill, the potential they have going forwards into the rest of this game. We've seen some fantastic blinks and some fantastic kits, I must say.
Absolutely, but we can also we also have to talk about the survivor team quality and this insane comeback we're seeing. We are back to all 4 survivors being healthy. We were almost on a 3-man slug 2 minutes ago, and now we are back all healthy, everything is sorted. And if you would now start watching this trial, you would not think that this survivor team just got stuck. So on the one hand, yeah, we see this very confident nurse and we see a very nice game coming out from her. On the other hand, we are seeing an insane survivor team that was just able to put up one of the most amazing and stunning comebacks of history. And this is showing here as well. Now the nurse is getting bullied a little bit, and we are going to see the pallet rescue coming out. Ace attempted to go into the basement there. He's a little bit too greedy on the pallets, unfortunately, trying to force the stun and making sure that the nurse is struggling in that regard. Smiley Face was expecting it after the second time, and therefore just taking the aggressive down. But we get the first generator here as well, and I would say this trial is back to absolutely being open. The killer is not in that strong position any longer.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I must agree. It's amazing when you watch these sets and you realise how fast the tables can turn in these sort of games. You've got someone as strong and powerful as the nurse looking at that 3-man slug so early on to then having a completely reset team, someone unhook as a fresh hook, and now the gens are really starting to flow as well. We do, however, have a really nice 3-gen here. We've got hook in the center of it as well. Reminders, the win condition this game, because I got a little bit lost at the end of last game with all the drama that was going on. Can you remind us of that win condition for this game, Dyer?
So yeah, if we would get 4 gens completed, then it would still be a win for Excellence, because Excellence will, like, if Excellence gets a clean 4K, then Excellence would have earned the 12 stages, and Valentines only got 10 stages because of that last second escape. So what Valentines needs is actually all 5 gens being completed. You don't need an out, but you need all 5 generators, and that against the nurse on the coal tower is a difficult task. On the other hand, if I'm looking on Team Valentines and how they already made a comeback here, this might be a team that is able to do that.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. And like we say, we are seeing the gens come through now as we do get the tunnel out. There we are, 1 gen remaining. Are we going to see a really slow game just like last game? We have a strong 3-gen. It's not far at all. Maybe just over a blink's distance away from each other. So we're going to be able to control that really, really well. 1 survivor still injured with Edward. This is about to get interesting. If we can secure the 4K here, like Dyer just said, we will see the win condition being met. I don't know what to expect here. Every single game that we've had tonight has been really interesting to watch. It's had such good twists and turns from both teams. I mean, take this game, for example, the chaos that we saw right at the beginning, and now it's almost like we've got a bit of peace and quiet going on around the map. Maybe as the survivors are gathering their thoughts, we've got the full reset as well on the survivor team. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. It's going to be slow and steady. Noted as well, obviously, there's no ruin in play, so we are looking at kick conditions, even though we do have a 3-gen setup. We can only kick so much as we find the Ada interesting interaction, maybe. But we get the hit there. How quickly can we confirm the down? Great dead hard from Edward, taking Nurse far away from that 3-gen, which is what is needed, gaining as much time as possible. But we are going to get that down on the other side of the map, and we are going to be going for the hook here. This is heating up in a very nice fashion. We're going to be blinking straight over to this 3-gem. Pop is in play. The Obsession is on the hook, so Dying Light is going to be playing a part as well. Obviously, Gen Speed and Thana. We're going to see... No? Where did they go? I was about as confused as the nurse as well. We are going to be going back on to, I think, Adam. No, Dwight. I'm losing my mind. Getting the unhook there, straight back down for Tutti Frutti. I wonder what the gens are looking like on the other side, though. All of this pressure on this side of the map. We're going to be hooking towards that 3-gem, which is what I think is desperately needed right now.
And that's going to be the unfortunate rehook onto the Dwight. I'm actually a little bit surprised that the Survivor team made it out of this difficult situation like that so easily, because what we've seen there was indeed a little bit chaotic. We need one more gen. That's the fact on the table. One more gen is needed for Team Valentines to take the win. On the coal tower here, Tutti Frutti is on the hook, 30 seconds away from the elimination. Not entirely sure if the nurse has the time to go for the full camp into the death here and allowing the survivors to double up in the distance there. Edward is not being reset just yet. This is telling us the survivors are using, never mind, the time to put into the reset. They are actually not on the generator. This is crucial information for Smiley Face though, because now you can definitely camp the survivor to death here.
Yeah, absolutely. We can secure this out. We're not far away from that 3-gen either. Okay, we are going to see and go straight on to our tap. To the left, in condition. 1 gen is all that is needed. We're going to see the pick up and hook here. We're just going to go straight over. Interesting plays. It's interesting how this match has really panned out. I think we've seen a contrast in both nurse matches on how the energy can switch constantly. Like we had in the first trial, it was a bit of a scrappy start, maybe you could say, and it ended up being a fantastic match to watch through. With this one, we had a incredibly aggressive start, and now we see things slow right down, but we are gonna find Leader right in the corner of the map, and we don't quite get the 2-blink chain off, but securing this down is going to cause the match. Remembering, guys, you can't just give up on hook. That is not the rules. You cannot unhook yourself. You do have to wait for those hook stages to roll through, so they're not going to be able to find a hatch at Shack at all. Really strong nurse set. Really, really strong nurse set. An exciting matchup, to say the least.
That's a great summary, and this is why I love the Scrim Night so much. And when we look on the result that is coming out here, the only difference we now see in this trial is 2 stages. It is actually this unfortunate escape through the hatch that is sealing the deal in favor of Team Excellence here. And these 2 stages, a last-second escape, is showing us that these 2 teams are absolutely on the same level. And that's why there's nothing better than moving forward in set 4 and 5. I really want to know how they are playing this out and who's coming out on the top. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to see you after a short break.
Welcome back, everyone, to a artist set. We are going to be seeing Excellence's pick here, who are currently 2-1 up in this matchup. I was saying beforehand, artist sets are something that I find really interesting. We like to see a lot of mind game involved. We are going to be seeing Ruin, Penty, Corrupt, and Agi as the perk picks as well. Ruin and Penty can come in quite lethal, to be fair, making the survivors work that little bit harder away from the gen setups as we are going to go into our first chase here with Ace over at the Killer Shack. What are we expecting gen-wise? Are we expecting a slow start maybe now, or are we going to be going aggressive now that we're into that first chase? What do we think?
I would think that we are seeing an aggressive survivor team. Whenever you're going into the first chase, you need to make sure that the rest of the survivor team is now hopping on these objectives and getting it in as quick as you can. And Ace needs to go for a little bit of a longer run here. Unfortunately, he will not be able to do that. Scroller will take the first hook stage. Our survivor here with the flashlight revealing himself and not doing damage to the killer either. So now we have a little bit of time loss on the survivor side. We have the first stage already a little bit earlier than we would like to see it. No snipe, that's good for the survivor team. Sometimes on the Wrecker's Yard, especially since it's not the biggest map, you do see a lot of potential for some nice snipes right there. Hex Ruin, though, on the other hand, not sure, seems to be a really big enemy for our teams today. No, none of the teams is really wanting to deal with them.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation that we've seen, isn't it? We've not seen Ruin get cleansed at all tonight, and I think we've seen it in every single matchup. Oh no, corrected. We haven't seen it in every single matchup. There was a couple where we've not seen it, but nevertheless, we've not seen it get cleansed at all tonight. It's reminded me a little bit of was it Japan versus NA, the Legion, where they weren't allowed to cleanse Ruin at all. It's a little bit like that. Did they know they can cleanse Ruin? It's available. It's an option. I don't understand it too much. I'd be wanting to get that gone, given how punishing Ruin has been tonight. Like you say, it really has caused some interesting scenarios. But we are over by the Fun Bus going into chase. We're on Tutti Frutti, our favourite name so far tonight, as he is going to take the hit. One gen has gone, one hook stage, and we are seeing a little bit of progress on these generators as well. Good play by David there, just avoiding the direct hit by the Crows. I like what David did there, making that loop just a little bit longer by dropping that pallet early. Can play off really well against Artist players. We know how good they are at being able to zone with those birds at your filler pallets, shortening down your options. So I really like the idea there of dropping that pallet, making it a little bit longer, giving yourself that little bit extra time to work with. And we are now going to be transitioning over to our tap as Ruin eats away at that nearby gen.
And now a little bit of struggle on the killer side. This is the first injury after a little bit, and we're seeing a nice snipe onto Edward, but we would need to decide if we want to go for our tap or if we want to put pressure onto Edward. Here the Crows should be done in a second. That's the case right here. Injury coming out of as well. We are able to pinpoint that survivor here in the corner of the Fun Bus. This is one big strength of the Artist. Whenever you have a survivor in the corner, it is incredibly difficult to escape. Nice dodge, however, against two Crows, but then getting a little bit too excited and going into the vault here. However, the survivor team getting a lot of time back for themselves, going for the reset onto tap as well. So the potential is there that we see some generators flying in a couple of seconds here.
100%, 100%. Like we know, anything can happen in these games, but I am expecting some progress to be popping off. We are looking at our 3-gen. Ruin is in the middle of that 3-gen as well. Surely they've seen that. We've seen a lot of action around Fun Bus. Surely they've noted that Ruin, but it brings me back to earlier. Are we even going to see it get cleansed? Maybe. But yeah, a punishing position, definitely. I was expecting by now to have seen one go as we get the save. Still nothing quite. Can we secure a snipe on the other side? As we see that gem pop, we do get the snipe, and we are going to go commit to it over on Tutti Frutti. And we get rid of the birds with the locker. Really good play. 3 birds used in quick succession. That power then goes on cooldown for a little bit longer, but we've got all of our stacks back. Solid hit over the pallet. But again, we're about to see a full reset on the team already. 2 gens left. It's a tough position to be in for Arcula here, I think.
Now Tutti Frutti going down onto the floor, 2 generators remaining, a lot of pressure rising on the killer side. We are not close towards the elimination just yet. The pressure is not on the shoulders of the survivors, and Tutti Frutti is in fact a 2-minute hook stage. So a lot of time for the survivor teams. They don't need to worry just yet. They can even sacrifice the first stage, letting Ace hang all the way into the second, and then going in very, very nice confidence onto the gens. Though, surprisingly, we are seeing a very fast unhook, which I think wasn't even necessary here. They've put their survivor into a lot of risk here, while not taking the time they could have gone for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm quite surprised to have seen that play out exactly how it did. I think the smart option would have been there to let them marinate a little bit on the hook. But we do see a down coming through anyway onto 2-3. So now we've got the down, we've got the hook stage. We're going to keep them slow. This is where you need to be building up that pressure now. We've let so much stuff fly recently. This is the opportunity now to apply that pressure, take back a lot of that control as we see a big mind game through there. We're securing the hit. I imagine we're going to go back through to that hook. Maybe now's the time where they're going to let things sit a little bit, but I don't know if you can afford to. With 2-3 still on the floor, we're not. We're going to be going through for a trade. This isn't what I was expecting at all. It's panning out in a completely different direction to what I originally thought was going to happen. We are going to be sticking here with tap. No, we're not. We're going to go back to the hook stage. We see the pickups coming through. We still have the down on top of the hill as well. I don't know what to make out right now. I really, really don't. It's a bit of chaos. There's things happening all over the place as we get our slug up and onto that hook. Still not confirming the elimination.
And now it's on the big turning point. The killer has the last chance now to take over the control of the Wrecker's Yard. We have 2 injured survivors. We do have a hook stage at the moment, so if you want to strike and if you want to keep the survivors under control, then you must do that right now. You will not have a huge chance after this. The survivor team, on the other hand, they are having the difficult decision. Do we smash the gens? Do we go for the reset? Potentially they are sacrificing too much of the generator progress. I really don't understand why we don't see the cleanse of ruin. Throughout this best of 5, we have had so many instances where the Hex Ruin was so punishing for the survivor team, and this applied to both sides, and yet they are not cleansing this totem. And even if the Pentimento is coming out afterwards, you know where it is. You just cleanse the ruin in that corner, and if the killer is constantly guarding the Pentimento so you cannot go for it, well, then you are repairing the Shag generator. Then you have free access to that. I'm sorry that I almost start getting wild and going nuts a little bit, but why is no one cleansing the ruin? Ow!
It's okay, Dyer. It's okay. It's okay. We can take some deep breaths. Everything's going to be fine. It's okay. But I think it's safe to say that Ruin has been ruining these sets tonight, if you pardon the pun. It has really been putting some work in on these generators. It's still up. Surely, we've seen so much chase, so much action around the funbuses this game. Has no one seen it? I'd love to know what's happening from the survivor point of view, from both teams, because we've not seen it cleansed at all, and it really is a bit mind-blowing. All survivors are up at the minute. All survivors are injured. We are going to go and see the down on Edward, and we are going to be picking up straight away and going for the hook. It's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. It is ruining my train of thought.
Yeah, I don't know. I hope when these teams are looking back at it, they will hear my frustration about the ruin and will. It doesn't make sense to me why they don't realize it. They have actually lost some games to ruin being on for too long. They have experienced it, and I don't know, maybe they have some super secret plan that only Albert Einstein would have been able to decipher at the moment because I'm not smart enough, or they are simply sleeping on the ruin and they will get punished once more. And now we have this exact situation again. 3v1 scenario. You are having one gen standing, but with 3 survivors you will not be able to progress the gens if the killer doesn't make a mistake. 1 survivor on the hook, 1 survivor rescuing, and the 3rd survivor goes into the next chase. So the gen progress and the gen pressure will drop significantly, and in this moment there is going to be Hex Ruin as a very strong resource on the killer side. But let's find out how long Tutti Frutti can go for the run here. The answer is unfortunately not the longest, so the pressure on the gens is rising. Another slug is coming out. Understandable though, because we are quite far away from the gens that we are currently trying to protect.
Absolutely, and like you say, as the numbers start to dwindle on the survivor side, so does the gen pressure, and the real killer in this trial, Hex Ruin, is going to be putting in some serious work. And the thing is, it's like you say, they know where Penny's going to be, and it's not like she's going to have Pop Goes the Weasel in her back pocket. We know what perks are in play, especially if they see the pen menu. They're going to be able to go, okay, they're not going to be able to get 20% kicks on the gens constantly. That was a really nice bird hit though. But yeah, I just really don't understand it. Maybe we'll see Ruin getting cleansed at some point. We've still got 3 matches left tonight, chat. It's all going to be all good. But yeah, a really interesting moment as we see another really nice bird shot on the other side of the map. Again, far away from those gens, but I'm pretty sure I heard footsteps just a second ago, and we did. We see the scratch marks coming in. The gens are on the other side. I'm not sure. 2 out, 2 survivors remaining. Gen pressure dwindling away. Are we going to see this last gen pop at any point?
Like, I'm telling you, they lose the 5th generator here and they will not get the outs because of Hex Ruin. Because they don't cleanse the totem. This is the reason why they are not taking generator number 5. Like, I'm sorry, but this is the only reason why they are losing it. They have to go for the rescues, and they are doing it. The survivor team is making the correct decisions. They have the right strategy. But
absolutely.
Unfortunately, especially when you're 3 survivors, going for a rescue, going for a reset takes time, and time equals Hex Ruin kicking in. And this is taking your gens. Mantis, I'm about to load up into the game, somehow spawning on the Reckless Yard and cleansing the Hex Ruin myself. I'm already in contact with behavior to get me in that lobby. Now you have the killer instinct there as well, congratulations. And they actually killed my entire team! How?
I don't believe
How?
it! My mind is blown.
And it was so much more painful than it had to be. They could have just gotten this 5th generator in such an easier way and so early. But now they had to make it so painful. I mean, it's good that they got it. I'm happy for them. Good work, but Jesus, cleanse Ruin next time.
Absolutely, absolutely. But do you know what? This is the beauty of the Scrim Nights. It's a time for learning. It's a time for reflection for the teams to sit back and go, look, what could we have done better? What was the plan? And work on that going forwards. I think that may be something that they look at going forwards in their little in their team chats talking about, okay, maybe, yeah, Ruin did play a very big part tonight. And I think they might look at that in the future and go, yeah, let's get that cleansed. I really do.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, there needs to be some kind of adjustment. Valentines definitely doing a good work. We have to say that taking the outs here even is not guaranteed on the Wrecker's Yard against an artist. Artist can be very oppressing, and if you have a few unfortunate downs, it can all go very, very wrong. So Survivor's doing a good job here. They are taking at least one stage out of the door. 11 stages is definitely okay, because now you're forcing the Survivor team in the upcoming trial, Team Excellence, to take outs as well, and one stage is not even enough, so they have to make sure that they either get 2 survivors out with 1 stage each, or 1 survivor that has not been hooked twice. So I think Valentines can be happy about their performance here on the Wrecker's Yard. We will switch the sides, ladies and gentlemen, and we will see you right after short break. Hello everyone, and we are back on the Wrecker's Yard with the Artist, and let's see what we are having in mind for a strategy, for a game plan here. North, Ryoga, Temple and Smiley Face against Kobe. We are having Excellence on the Survivor team now. They need all the gens done and 2 stages out of the door. So let's say, in other words, if Valentine's Killer just 4Ks, we are more than fine here. That's a little bit around the win condition here. First chase coming out for Smiley Face, already the injury and getting the stun. Very, very well done by Smiley Face here, going on to a longer run, making sure that more time is wasted, but not being able to dodge that crow. Still relatively early. We have agitation as well, so we might go into the basement here.
Absolutely. I think basement, not on the cards this time. And something that is nice is we're not going to see Gaia get incredibly upset over Ruin plays this game as well. Ruin is a part of this trial. But we did see a very nice hit there, getting the Shack Pallet out of the way as well. And the early unhook coming in there too. Interesting bird hit there. We're going for the tunnel out here. I'm a bit worried on the gem progressions, because we had... I'm sure Ace came... No, sorry, it wasn't Ace that got the save. It was... I'm sure the person that got the save came from Shack. If that's right, all 3 survivors would have been on that Shack gen, which means no other gens would have had any progress, to my knowledge. So we could be about to see our second stage here on the tunnel out with minimal to no progress on any of the other gens, which could play out interesting, but we'll see. We'll see. We are going for the basement hook this time around. Obviously, Shack Pallet is gone as well, so Shack not as strong as it once was, but we shall see from here.
Now is the interesting question: will we see a successful unhook and a successful longer chase coming out from this? But in the meanwhile, One Whiskey, thank you so much for the raid and bringing in the little group. Appreciate everyone. We hope that stream was amazing. You are witnessing one of the Scrim Nights where 2 teams, Valentines on the Killer side and Excellence on the Survivor side, are currently battling out the 4th set point with the Artist on the Wrecker's Yard. Appreciate the support there, mate. We have the Smiley Face once again being in the absolute difficult spot here, running against the elimination, and out of nowhere there's a tap dropping on our head. That was a nice surprise.
Absolutely. It was like Tap just decided to turn into Batman really quickly, flying out of nowhere, but there's no body blocking against those birds. It's not gonna happen. A fantastic little play though. It took me back. It really did. Just out of nowhere, jumping down from the top ropes to save the day. But we are going to see the tunnel. Okay, hello, Ace. Great little grab there. That's going to add on to the pressure that we're already seeing. Extemple injured, smiley face on the floor, ready to go on to the hook. We are going to be seeing the reset on the other side of the map. We get that early out, which is going to be incredibly beneficial. We can hear the gens running away to the side of us as well. A great point in the match. The pressure now all in the killer's hands as we get a lovely little snipe across the map as well.
Now, survivors need to be really careful with such snipes. When you have 4 survivors, it's not that bad if you have something like that. If you're only with 3, having a few unintentional and a few surprising snipes can come out very damaging, especially if you would take an injury. From then, Tab is going to deal with the pros without jumping into a locker. Interesting there, usually we always hear the sound notification. Ryoga being camped into the second stage, difficult for excellence here. Remember everyone, we need 2 stages out of the door and we need to make sure that we're getting all the gens done before that. Liora, welcome in. So far, it's Excellence winning. They're currently on the survivor side, but it looks like we will actually push it into a 2-2 because Valentine, I don't know if you agree with me, not sure, but Valentine's on the killer side right now looks definitely a bit stronger.
Absolutely. This is a really, really strong setup that they've got right here, and it's going to be hard to force the win condition, but we do see a sneaky little unhook there. I think it was the tap that got it out of literal nowhere, but we are straight back onto our survivor getting that tunnel out. This game is about to become incredibly difficult if we get this tunnel out nice and early, because 2 survivors with 3 gens remaining is no easy task, and it's looking like that is going to be what we are faced with right now. And going to the edge map, waste as much time as you can under these dire circumstances. It's a really tough one to pull back right now. The tunnel out is complete. I can't see this going any other way right now.
Yeah, it is rough. 3 gens with 2 survivors. 2 gens with 2 survivors would be a miracle. A little miracle already happened there. The survivor team is on it. We can definitely, we can see that the survivors are definitely not sleeping. That's for sure here. Team Excellence always showing us really, really great fights, and we have seen them in the other sets fighting as well. Unfortunately, though, I feel like that the final generator will be more of a challenge than they would love to have it, because we are having this great generator setup on this side of the Wrecker's Yard. We are basically playing in 1/4 of the map. The killer will try to keep sniping onto the other gens. So when we are making sure, or when we are trying to chase a survivor, we can always turn around and we can always make sure that we are having a little bit of control there over the objectives. Onto the hill here, 1 survivor waiting there for the artist, trying to work a little bit as a bait, trying to drag the killer into the corner, which is a very nice strategy. North will now 100% sit on this generator. The question is, will we really see 90 seconds of a chase? And after this quick injury, I'm not so sure about it.
Yeah, no, 90 seconds is what is needed, and I can't see it coming through. We do see that North is going to be working on that eruption gen over in the corner. We're trying to get those snipes on, but it's just not going to come through. So I think we're going to drop that chase there with the tap, let him simmer for a little bit, knowing that he's injured, and pressure this gen, which sounds like it actually has quite a bit of progress on it. Now, an eruption hit will do a good amount of work, and I can imagine that we're then going to go through for the slug for the 4K, given that Tap is just injured. Good luck stealthing that one out. But this is a really interesting setup. Here it goes for the pallet. Can we zone into the sight of the birds, or is this going to be a huge play? The patience is absolutely incredible as we get the hit there at the window. We see the eruption proc on that gen. Really, really patient play from both players there.
Yeah, that was beautifully done by North. So much patience in such a difficult situation as well, where you have a lot of pressure on your shoulders, and they do get the final generator done. Example, I will unfortunately be found by the artist, and therefore very likely not able to escape. Otherwise, we would have had the win condition being met here. Excellence doing a good job after a rough mid-game, for sure. Losing a survivor so early was definitely punishing them a lot. How they went for it, I'm not entirely sure. Unfortunately, it will also not be the tie condition, because we are having no one out of the door, and the other game from them was 11 stages since someone from Valentines walked out. So it's Valentines taking the win here in set number 4, meaning we have a 2-2, most perfect result we can ask for in a scrim night. Valentines, congratulations for taking the set point here. Yeah, it will all come to an ultimate end. We will go into the Demogorgon on the Azeroth resting place. We will see it on a very basic killer, on a very mind game forced killer, and we will see it on a very nice team coordination killer, because a lot of hit taking is needed to play efficiently against the Demogorgon. We will wait for North and Example to die on hook here. One shout out the teams deserve is not disconnecting, since we are always struggling a little bit in the scrim nights with leaving the matches too early. We don't have that today. All the teams are doing a good job in that regard. But our producer has a dentist appointment. What was that? Did the killer just DC while I was shouting out the teams? Don't tell me that the killer just intentionally DC'd while I'm going down there. We are going on a break. Kobe is not gonna have a nice evening. Let's
Plus
switch.
10,000 aura coming in.
And now we're gonna hunt them. We will see you after the break, guys. Hi everyone! It seems like I'm off my meds. It was a normal ending of the trial. Since the survivor went into second stage, it came really quickly to an end. I was ready to go down there into the VC and start a riot about the DC, but our wonderful producer Savannah was like, 1 second, don't go yet. And then she told me that everything was going according to plan. So luckily I was stopped. Imagine I would have gone in there and start a huge escalation, and they are looking at me like, what the fuck do you want from us? So I'm glad I got saved. I apologize. I take it back. I'm off my meds. So yeah. Terrycon, thank you for the defense there. Yeah. So we can all calm down. No aggression needs to be thrown this late in the evening. I also think we interrupted the highlight video. Savannah really wanted to play it out for you guys. She has the viewers in mind. And I said, no. I need to apologize right now. Interrupted. Send me live now. So we will send you back on a break. And now you can enjoy whatever you're doing. Touching grass. Drinking something. We will be right back in a moment, guys. Welcome back everyone, and I have exciting news. We can confirm that next week we are bringing you the low-tier community night. The low-tier killer community night. Hopefully the community night itself will be on high quality. We will have killers like Freddy, Doctor, Legion, Onryo, Clown, Pyramid Head. So everything that you are looking for, and we will bring you these wanted killers right onto your screen at home, into your four walls. This is the service we provide, and the service that Tutti Frutti needs to provide to his survivor team. I think that was the worst connection in shoutcasting ever made. But anyway, the service that Tutti Frutti has to make for his survivor team is getting a nice performance here on the ARP, and with the Demogorgon, that is easier said than done.
Yeah, absolutely. We all know Demogorgon, as much as we love him, he's a good boy. He's not the strongest in the bunch. We all know what's going to happen this game. We're going to see some serious hit takes. Maybe we'll see a flying detective tap again, coming from the top ropes out of nowhere to take a body block. But we will have to see. It's not going to be an easy task. We know this. I think one thing, if I can give Demo some positivity as much as I want to, is that, you know, with the split, nice shred through the pallet. But with that split, we can portal from either side to side of the map. There's one thing that I like to see with Demo in comp is the use of portals, because I don't think I've ever seen portals get used in pubs in my life, I'll be honest. But we see a nice little down here, away from all of the active gens. Corrupt is now up, and this is where the game is going to start.
Indeed, and I will make a quick poll real quick for the chat, asking about having Baba in the upcoming community night. Please take a vote real quick. It is a very neutral voting. You have the chance to express your honest opinion about Baba being in the upcoming community night, so make sure that you are going to use the chance to drop your opinion now. North is on the floor at the moment. Ryuga is going into the next chase here as well, taking another injury and trying to get some distance. We are behind the main building, and this means that the Demogorgon will go back towards this pallet, not to worry any longer about a pallet save, but instead the flashlight save is coming out. What an exciting game here by Excellence. They are looking to take the win in this scrim night here.
Absolutely excellent, showing their excellence in this trial, that is for sure, as we see a beautiful little dodge there by Smiley Face. I'm sure Smiley Face is giving a lot of smiley faces right now. A fantastic little performance, but a beautiful flashlight save, an absolutely beautiful flashlight save. I think that's the second we've seen tonight, if I'm right. We've seen some really exciting plays, and that is 100% one of the best that we've seen. What an exciting matchup. We've seen some great shreds so far from Tutti Frutti, and we've also seen some brilliant dodges from Smiley Face as well. I've been watching that quite closely. It's been really exciting to watch.
Yeah, Demo is always a killer that we really love. The dynamic, the killer in the need to kind of push the survivors into position where they are making mistakes, and this great coordination. I'm a little bit surprised that we haven't seen a generator yet, because I feel like our survivor team, especially with the flashlight save, having quite long chases, should definitely be able to have some gens ready to go. But maybe they are splitting it across individual survivors, and then we are making sure that we are having 3 generators being completed very soon here. Unfortunate though, all 4 survivors are injured, which is also rare to see on a Demogorgon, so we might want to reset here a little bit.
Yeah, 100%, and we know that reset is going to take us a little bit of time, taking away from those gens, and we're going to see the eruption pop on the 2 gens near Fumbus, and we're going to pick up an aura. We're going to leave the slug on the floor. Smiley Face is going to have a little bit of tummy time right there on the floor as we move over to our ace. Important to note, we do see Tap and Jake now healed up as well. We are going to be going down in the pallet, but no one is nearby to get that pallet saved. Yeah, this This game, I'm surprised that we've not seen anything yet in regards to more gens popping. We're still at 5 gens with 2 stages on the board and a lot of pressure. Still with the injury on Smiley Face, who's been taking a lot of the aggro with the chasers, and not a lot of pressure coming on these gens at all. It's an interesting markup. It's not what I was expecting at all, to be honest. And we see Smiley Face getting down, and we're going to return to the hook area to see if anyone is coming in for the save. Maybe they let him sit through to second stage to try and get some serious progress. That is what they're going to do. And we're going to see that gen pop come through. Bit of a hard area now, though, to work with for X Temple, with the pallets around here gone. Still have a survivor on hook, still have a survivor on the floor. X Temple now injured. We're going to make our way back around to the hook to that save, and we are going to be going for the tunnel. Smiley's back up on his feet, back in action. This isn't how I imagine things to go. This is a really impressive Demogorgon set.
I love Demogorgon, and this is exactly what you can only hope for on the side of the audience as the casters, having an intense game where you are sharing some injuries, where you see nice rescues. I absolutely love to see that. We also have to say a huge thank you to Nightlight, who has just absolutely overrun it with so many people. Welcome in, everyone, to this community night. You're witnessing the final set between Excellence and the Valentines. 2-2. Both teams got 2 set points so far. It's absolutely close, and the Demogorgon on the ARP will bring the decision towards the end here. Nightlight, thanks a lot for the support here. We appreciate it so much. Yeah, and talking about that, we are having very intense matches today. The Survivor teams have impressed us with great comeback strategies, with a lot of great team play as well, rescuing each other. So it will be a very exciting tiebreaker match here. Also, guys, if you are interested in learning a little bit about competitive Dead by Daylight, may it be getting the perfect advice for your gen builds, for your perk builds, for your defense in certain areas of the game, or increasing your skill a little bit. If you are interested in learning a killer and watching a player from the top of the community, let's word it like this, then definitely go into Nightlight's stream. One of the most experienced killer and survivor players you can find. He's playing on Eternal. Before that, he was playing on Agony. He's in Comp DBD basically since forever. So if you are interested in watching high quality gameplay, learning something for yourself, find your way to Nightlight's stream. This is where you are at the right address. We hope the stream was fine. Welcome everyone to DBDL. We are also on no delay in the Scrim Night, so if you have any questions, you can ask them freely today. We will be able to answer them. Main building, not sure, is a difficult hook stage because you are in need to move all the way around, and then it's sometimes very tricky to rescue a survivor. Unfortunate, on top of that, we have a nice 3-gen here on the top side. So the Demogorgon might lose the gens towards the Shack side, but overall he will feel kinda okay with the situation he's in right now.
Yeah, 100%. I don't think that there's too much pressure on the Demogorgon's hands right now. Have I just spoken too soon as we see a gen pop? I was about to say we've got 4 gens remaining with an out already, but we are now seeing the caster's curse come into play as we see 2 gens pop, but, and this is a big but, we still have the gen right at the top of the map. 3 survivors remaining, 2 gens remaining. This still has been an intense Demogorgon set. I've loved watching every single bit of it as we see a nice little hit there coming through on the edge of the map on to north. Yeah, a really interesting set so far, and the double back pays off really nice there, actually. But worth noting, North is keeping this chase up this top end of the map exactly where it needs to be. All of that pressure needs to be directed on those gens down by the main building if they want to split this 3-gen, which at this point is a must.
It is indeed. North going down, unfortunately, here, right after we had that elimination coming through. The good thing is you have 2 minutes of hang time, so you can get quite some gen pressure. You can leave North on the hook for a little while, getting a few percentages in. So really, really good to see that the Survivor team has a little bit of a response possibility here. Overall, it feels like an early elimination. We have seen quite some games in Season 9 where Demogorgon was able to put quite some pressure, quite some eliminations as well, but they never came out on 2 gens remaining, with also the generators themselves being on such little progress. So, I'm not sure, asking maybe how would you play this as a Survivor team now, especially since we have 3 survivors back to injured. We should see a full reset, right?
Yeah, I think full reset is key at this point. You're not going to be able to do much with your survivors all being injured. It's great that we're taking the chase up to the other side of the map. However, we are going to see that gen pop. The full reset was pivotal. We know where one survivor is at a minimum. We see actually the aura there at main from the eruption. We know roughly whereabouts both survivors are going to be now. A full reset was clinical. We're not going to see that come through, but we are going to see 1 gen remaining. Is that a tight enough win condition? I don't know. We'll have to see going forwards. If it does get to the point where all gens are completed, we do still have Noed in our back pocket as a little tool there to maybe even secure the 4K in the very end of the trial. But it looks like, to me, the survivors were trying to get that reset off that is so desperately needed at this point in the game, but it's not going to come through, unfortunately.
Now we need a longer chase here towards the end of the mid game. You want to stay alive longer. The idea was there, trying to go for a fake at the window, but the distance between killer and survivor was already too close. North is the survivor that can really do something here. He is fully healthy, he can take a tag, then getting the killer into a corner of the map potentially. Example needs to be careful here as well, and we are seeing this very tight 3-gen on the top set of ARP. Pop goes to Weasel, coming in clutch as well with 2 survivors. Almost very, very difficult here. And this is what you need in competitive DBD. You want to make sure that you identify your 3-gen as early as possible, and the killer shouldn't have a chance to play around that 3-gen. Now though, Tutti Frutti earned that. We have seen 1 very early elimination that definitely threw the survivor team off a little bit, and now he's able to take the benefit from achieving that. North going into the injured state as well. Both survivors now under a lot of pressure. North would need to put up a perfect chase, allowing Extemple to go for the gen here. I'm not too sure if that is possible, since we have a lot of resources here. Even the midsection doesn't have pallets any longer. So potentially we are back to an endgame escape.
Yeah, absolutely. But hold that thought, Dyer. Maybe we've spoken too soon. Like you just said, a lot of the resources are gone, and that is the game there. I don't think we've got an unbreakable play coming through, and I think that is going to be it. We don't have the unbreakable play at all, so that is going to be it there. Some spins from the Dem Dog. We love to see our Demo being a happy boy, but that is going to be the condition right there. 4K1. It was a strong game from Tutti Frutti. Tutti Frutti played exceptionally well. So did the survivors, though. Not to take anything away from excellence at all. But this next game is where it all comes down to. We're currently at 2-2 overall across all sets. Coming into the final game here, 4K1, how do you think the Excellence set up for this next match?
This is tough. 4K1 is tough. It's a very common condition in DBDL. Every time losing a survivor early, having a difficult 3-gen very often leads to having a 4K1. Now we are talking about the Demogorgon, so having a 4K2 would be really, really high challenge. 4K1 is already an incredible result where Tutti Frutti can definitely be really proud on himself here. So yeah, we can only hope that somehow this survivor team of Valentines will build up on Tutti Frutti's great killer performance, that's for sure. And Excellence needs to put the heads together. Final break, final chance to motivate your killer player, to send him out there, definitely with a lot of responsibility on the shoulder. It is coming down to this ultimate set. We have a 2-2. It is a very intense scrim night, we have to say that as well. I feel like this is the greatest scrim night we had so far. It is so close together, such exciting and amazing results. So, ladies and gentlemen, one last break, then we will switch the sides and going into ARP. Who will win this best of 5? That's the question. We will answer you in a couple of minutes. Hello everyone, we are going with a lot of hype into the final trial of today because we are having the Valentines and Excellence on the Demogorgon ready to demonstrate their skill to us. We are not having a police officer in the survivor team, so we will not see a 2-tap coming out anytime soon, but since we are on Astro's resting place, we will need a lot of iron will, so we are not running into the trauma of having a strong 3-gen on the top side, because only an oracle could tell you if you're making it completely out of it or if you will eventually have agony in your body. Let's find out, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, I hope everyone is excited. Win condition is 4K1. Not sure. What are you expecting from the teams here?
Well, I'm expecting a lot of aggression. I'm expecting some big plays. I'm expecting just some pizzazz, I think is the right word. It's a really exciting set. This is a nail biter. We are down to the final match tonight, the decider, who is going to take away the win, who is going to walk away with 3-2 on their mind, having little sweet dreams tonight. Who is it going to be? My bet is on the cute little demo that's playing around. I want the demo to win. I'm not going to say which one, but the demo.
Agreed. Demo has to win. This is something we can all agree on. We are loading into the match. ARP, a map that can put a lot of pressure onto the survivor team if you're not taking care of the 3 or 4 gens that can spawn on either of the 2 sides. We've just seen that in the previous trial. On the other hand, ARP can be a treasure for you as a survivor team if you break that setup early on and put the Demogorgon into a position where he has to defend 2 gens on the main building and 2 gens on the shack. Well then, good night. Well then, you have not a good time as such a weak killer. So far it's looking good because we have 3 gens that are corrupted all together on one side. A little bit of a luxury position right here, so North can be sure that at least this 3-gen will not be attacked either the first 2 minutes or until we have the first down. Tutti Frutti, Scroller, Edward and Hook are taking the responsibility on the survivor side, and from everything we've seen so far, Valentines will not waste time to get on the gens here.
Absolutely, but in the same breath, this Demogorgon's not gonna waste time not pressuring gens. I mean, look at this build. Call of Brine, Pop, Eruption. That shouts to me aggression. And I think that is exactly what we're gonna see here. Very close shred there, trying to get that hit around the corner. But yeah, we are in for an exciting treat as we're going into this first chase at what I like to call my big yellow tractor. I love that thing. And we are so close to seeing the first down come through. I'm so excited for this game. I can't contain it. I'm sorry. And we are now going to see that first down come through. No gens popped. Unsure of how much progression we're going to see as we nearly get our third flashlight save of the night. Was that Tutti Frutti trying to come into their redemption arc there to try and get a little bit of payback maybe, but it just didn't pay off quite as much as they would have liked. First hook stage going down pretty central. Gonna traverse to the top side of the map now, have a look at what these gens are saying, see if there's any incredible pressure going on. Not too much as a whole, so we'll apply Pop, Eruption, Call of Brine all in one go onto that gen there. Strong start. Let's see how this pans out going forward.
That's going to take an injury here as well. Kind of in the previous trial, we are having a lot of injuries across the survivor team. So the decision will need to be done very soon. Do we go for some resets, allowing the Demogorgon to have a setback as well, taking a little bit of additional control, but at least for Hook, this is not even going to be an opportunity to be healed right there, because we're going down onto the floor. Second Hook stage coming out. Already great play so far from the Demogorgon. A lot of confidence, that's for sure. Tutti Frutti getting the heal though onto the Dryad, which is important for our survivor team, as we want to have the pressure on the gens, especially here on the top side. We have a 3-gen setup that we need to break. Same goes for the bottom side, and having healthy survivors to approach the gens is really, really important. North is trying to find a good balance between locking the Atom there in the map corner, trying to keep an eye on the 3-gen, guarding the Hook stage behind the main building. Will now be the reset here. So good attempt from both sides, but if the Demo would be able to force Hook into the second stage without losing a generator until then, that would be really strong for him.
Yeah, 100%. I think the game is currently in his hands completely. We've got a nice little setup going on here. Nice shred around the corner as well. Paying off straight away. Shredding for distance as well. This is one athletic Demo. Sign him up for the Olympics. You'll love to see it. Maybe not for archery though, although we did see a beautiful snipe come in earlier on. It was absolutely fantastic on that Claudette. That was a beautiful hit. I'm still playing on my mind now. As we see Ace pushing in at Edgemar, beautiful little crouch there. As we're going to avoid that hit, can we make it back around? We don't. We are going to see that down come through. A lot of pressure coming on, but all three of the other survivors are completely healed. That is going to be a fresh Hook state on the cards here for our Demo. Excellent. Proving once again with their killer that they are not here to mess around. North is putting in a very good performance. I think this is also maybe our first game with North as killer. I think potentially, I could be wrong, but I think it is. So a nice look into North's strengths with Demo, but we did a second ago hear that gen pop close to the shred there. 3 gens remaining. We're going for the tunnel out. All 3 of the other survivors still fully healed. Could this be a bit of a dangerous place for Demo at the moment?
I'm afraid the answer is yes, and we can tell that by his reaction after having the down. He has to go for a stack already. He feels the pressure that the survivor team is putting on him. Getting at least an injury onto the Claudette will feel really, really rewarding. and will put him back in a much better position. For that, we will even get another one here onto Tutti Frutti. So our Demogorgon not just saying, I'm getting the hook stage the normal ways. He wants the pressure. He wants to keep the Survivor team under control. And honestly, he's doing such an amazing job. He's getting all the survivors injured.
Beautiful, beautiful play. And this really has worked out well. That slug has really worked in his favor. He's played on it absolutely beautifully. You know, you see it sometimes, people go for the slug play. It doesn't quite work out, but it's safe to say this is not one of those moments. He's played as we see the head-on coming through with Tutti Frutti. That's a beautiful little play there to avoid getting grabbed, but we are going to see Demo crawling up his little portal here, going back to that down survivor, just making sure that pickup isn't going to come through. Are we going to see the pickup? We are. Is anyone nearby? No footsteps. We're going to secure that hook stage. The drama's crazy. We need a bit of a reset here from the survivor team. There's going to be a lot of pressure going on. This is pivotal. We do see the Adam coming through with the heal. Can the other two get it in time before they get found? Right now, with the heal, I think that is going to be a full reset. There we go. Things simmering back down to normal. Not a lot of gem progress going on. This is exciting. Final game of the night, and it is one to watch carefully, that is for sure.
Absolutely. You want to make sure now on the survivor side, especially that you take what you have just seen. We have had 4 injured survivors out of nowhere. From 1 down, we went on to a very huge snowball, and especially a Demogorgon getting 3 additional injuries back to back in a short period of time is something that should make you think on the survivor side, maybe do we have to take some adjustments here? So going to the full reset is definitely the understandable choice here, even though they are still taking a lot of risk. This injury on Adam was also not really necessary. They need to be careful if they keep playing like this with so much risk. North has shown us multiple times now that he's not allowing the survivors to be this dominant. And if the survivors will stay this aggressive, I'm afraid that we might actually see a successful snowball coming out, which would then mean that we are having a 4K earlier than 1 gen remaining. That's the possibility here.
Absolutely, and I think we was both saying before this game how hard that could be for Demogorgon. But Demogorgon proving he is the one and truly S-tier killer in this game. Anyone that says otherwise is wrong. He is completely S-tier, and we're seeing why here. Absolutely strong performance here from North on Demo. Really nice to see as well, like I said earlier, with it being North's first set, it's really nice to see such a strong performance from him. But again, looking at the survivors, we've got a full reset. All of them are ready to go. Pressure can start getting put onto those gens. Can we get our out? Can we get our confirmed kill? That will help slow down those gens massively. We've seen it enough tonight how much of a difference that can make. Will we see it come through anytime soon though?
Yeah, this is the question now. I'm wondering a little bit where the gems are, because with this much confidence on the survivor side, we should also have efficiency. Yeah, North got them a little bit into a struggling position, and definitely not having them as much dominant as they would like to be, but usually you should see a little bit of efficiency there. So the gens would be needed. 4K1 would be the tie condition. So let's see if the survivors are able to do that. North is going to get another stage now onto Stroller here, which is going to mean that we are losing the first survivor in this trial. 3 stages, 3 survivors remaining, 6 stages to go on the gameplay for North here. We'll see in a moment if that's going to work out in time. We would need to return 2 gems, which is definitely a little bit of bonus for yourself.
Absolutely, 100%. And it's like we said a moment ago, the survivor numbers starting to dwindle. It makes that pressure that little bit more harder to put onto these gens. We've still got a little bit of a strong 3-gen, I'd like to say, with the second one clicking now, and then, of course, over towards Shack Way. These are the important gens now because we need that 4K to come through. I think it's quite possible that we see it come through here with possibly a 4K too. Let's see. We go on to Claudette here. Over by Shaq, and a lovely head-on from Tutti Frutti there, dropping the Shaq pallet to make that little bit of extra distance. That's 2 head-ons we've seen tonight. Tutti Frutti loving those lofty plays, but we are going to continue with Claude as we see a gen pop in the distance. 2 gens remaining. That win condition is getting tighter and tighter with every second that goes by, struggling to stay on track with where this Claudette could have gone. If she resets now, that is going to be absolutely massive, surely.
Indeed, yeah. The reset would be needed onto Claudette. You really want to make sure that you have 3 healthy survivors. The work on the gens will be more difficult than it looks right now. Our Demogorgon has shown us he has a great understanding how much time he has for a chase, and when he needs to make the return towards the generators. He has earned an elimination already. He has a good gen setup as well, so everything is kind of falling towards north here. Dwight, and Dwight is the only survivor that will be able to progress the gens without taking too much risk. Meanwhile, A is not going to be successful too much with this chase right here, and we are going to see a very understandable slug, I was about to say, because I felt like he had the necessary time, but it's also understandable to go for the hook first. Yeah, I'm not sure. We are on edge. I was just about to say, with the time factor, I would have understood if he went into the portal there, going towards the top side. Now there are only 2 possible scenarios. Either we are getting the 4K, in this case it will be a tie, and we are finishing this scrim night on a perfect balance between these 2 teams. The other option would be getting generator number 5 done and taking the win in favor of the Valentines here. North trying to hold the choke point with the power here quickly activated as well, trying to get the killer instinct procting, but Hook is going to be fully reset here. Yeah, I'm not sure. This is a very, very slow down game that we see now, and one side making a mistake can cost the entire best of 5.
Absolutely, Daya. It's never been so tight, I don't think. Like, we are what could potentially be 90 seconds of gameplay away from either one of the greatest tie matches that we've seen or one of the biggest upsets from an incredible set. Like, it's hard for me to vocalize how amazing tonight has been. Fine. The Dwight here, surely we down the Dwight and then we go for the slug, but slugging can get the nodders from North there. Claudette is fully healed. She's not going to be screaming out in pain. She's not going to be breathing heavy. She's going to be hard to find in this scenario. Are we going to see quite a few pickups like before? I probably anticipate the answer's going to be yeah.
Claudette has the responsibility overall here. Will she be able to make it out of the door? Will she be able to... I mean, this would be a chance, right? If Claudette gets out, that would actually break the tie and make sure that they are going to break that tie condition. We're discussing in the background something in case they do go for a tie. Perhaps we are able to ask the teams if they want to play the Demogorgon again to have a winner. Of course, we will not force the teams because usually we are keeping community nights on a tie, but I also think that everyone is really excited about how these two teams are playing today. They are very close together, so in case it would end in a tie, we can definitely ask the teams if they want to take an additional set here on the Demogorgon and try to determine a winner. Though until then, we need to see if it will even be a tie. Again, to reiterate about the win conditions, we have a 4K on 1 gen. Everything stays right now. It would be a tie. If a survivor escapes right now, then on 1 gen remaining, then it would be a win for Valentines, and getting generator number 5 would also be a win for Valentines. So a few possibilities here and there for Team Valentines. Excellence cannot go further than reaching the tie. Claudette being missed here by the nails of the Demogorgon, the fingernails, by just a millisecond, and has now a chance to waste some time from the Demogorgon and give the Tutti Frutti Dwight a little bit of a chance here.
Yeah, absolutely. But another thing that we are seeing is the resources that were already so very tight dwindling even more, and I think that alone lowers your chances more and more and more and more. You've got to try and keep a chase if you want to try and maybe get a gen done sneakily. I don't know how possible that is right now, but I think getting an exit out of this door, you're gonna need something to keep you covered at least, and we're just not seeing that. It really is like a little bit of a game of chess, but nevertheless still very exciting to watch. I feel like, did I hear Dwight a second ago? Maybe? I'm not sure. Maybe I'm hearing things. But either way, yeah, no, definitely. Oh, maybe I wasn't hearing things. Either way, North certainly isn't hearing things as he finds the Dwight. This is going to be it here, the 4K1, meaning that we are going to be ending tonight on the tie, potentially.
Perfect time. We will ask the teams if they are interested in taking another set. As said, we are not forcing them at all. It is their decision here. They have played 10 trials, so it would be totally understandable if they say, in a scrim night, we want to keep it like that. But if they want to play it out and you want to see it, which it seems like you have an interest in to find out, since it was a very nice game, maybe we will see another set here. No, Leora, DBDL does not allow any Kobe because we are trying to eliminate the RNG factor, so the luck factor, as much as possible. And Kobe's are very inconsistent. They have 4% chance. So, yeah, you're not allowed to Kobe during the match. When everyone is on the hook, as Savannah is describing, you can try and go for speeding up death. Then you stay under the hook. But if you Kobe during the game and you are actually doing it, you are immediately forfeiting. So, yeah, the luck factor is going to be something that we need to eliminate, because luck always means that you are not having the direct comparison in terms of skill. So, let's see what the teams are answering us. As said, I would totally understand if they say after 10 trials, we don't want to go again. They are playing now for 4 hours almost, which is something that we have to respect a lot. I wouldn't mind personally, because on Friday I always start teaching a little bit later. So for me, it's not a problem. And Noshua will not even be asked. He will just be trapped in here in this VC. Same for the producer, Savannah, will also be trapped here.
Please send help, chat. Please. No,
So
I would love to see it. I would. It'd be great.
Same. It would be really great to see that. Question to Direwolf. Who's your favorite person? I think that's Savannah. I don't know if you are familiar with her, though. Sometimes she's in DBDL, and she's doing some moderation and stuff. Yeah. So we have been asking the teams, so we are looking forward to receive an answer now. Let's see what they are telling us. The excitement is rising. Excellence is missing a player. They're trying to get him out of bed. He already left.
No way.
Valentines is in. Excellence already lost someone because they thought the scrim night is over and someone had to go to bed because they have early work tomorrow, and now Excellence is spamming that. So now Excellence is spamming their player to make them come back here. That's unfortunate. I guess we'll wait a couple of moments. No, we are not letting anyone sleep here. We are bringing him back. Let's see if they are able to successfully do that, because I feel like this game deserves that game deserves a decision, and these two teams deserve an additional set as well to showcase themselves.
100%. I mean, we've seen so much class tonight. It would be such a shame if we didn't get to see this end in a win for either side. I mean, they've both been absolutely fantastic. What a way to introduce yourself on the stage. Like, two newcomers performing like this. Well, not brand new to comp, but you know what I mean. It's been absolutely fantastic. We've had some incredible games, and not to mention the MVP of this entire matchup, Hex Ruin. Absolutely phenomenal performance from Ruin throughout the entirety. Big props to you.
Yeah, this is something we have to point out, though. Both teams absolutely great prepared, setting up lobbies instantly, being responsive to everything. Great to watch. So really insane. I got a question. On the 1v1 prize channel, it still says season 5 lasts until 5th of May 2024, but we are at season 6 now, which makes me wonder, are the prizes still the same? When does season 6 end? It's a good question. We will definitely call Roxana after this community night and ask her what she smoked. No, the prizes will be the same, and season is always lasting 3 months. So we are ending at the 9th of August, if I'm not mistaken. We will correct the info later. Thank you for pointing it out. Excellence is asking for 5 minutes. Yeah, I think they can have 5 minutes. If we then get the tiebreaker to this very exciting community night, we can definitely wait 5 minutes. But if we wait 5 minutes, we will quickly refill our glasses. We will grab a snack to be ready ourselves. So hang with us. We will see you right after this very short break.
Hello, everyone. It is official. We are working on this tiebreaker as we speak. I'm so excited to get this underway. Honestly, I cannot contain it. Tonight has been ridiculously exciting, and it's about to get even better. We are going to see a winner. This is what comp is all about. Yes, it's a scrim night, but we've got the passion, we've got the excitement, and most of all, we are going to see a winner come out on top. Who is it going to be? I haven't got a clue. I'm going to be honest, I couldn't even guess. Both teams have played so incredibly well all night, and I just feel like they are so close. It's almost like they could be brother and sister. It's crazy how matched it is in the entire night. But yeah, we are going to be seeing that tie-break set come through. Everything is just getting set up at the moment. We will be there. Don't worry. And as well, I see someone saying that they feel sorry for the guy who went to bed because he has to work and now he's got to get back up for DBD. I'm sure they are more than excited because this is DBD League. Okay, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be epic. We're excited for this matchup to come through, and I'm sure you guys are as well. Like Dyer's been saying, if anyone's got any questions at all about Season 9 DBD League at all, now is the perfect time for you to ask them. Don't forget about the Discord, YouTube, and if you're sat here right now and you've not followed us on Twitch, follow us on Twitch. You'll be notified as soon as we go live, anytime that we have an event, a tournament, more scrim nights, anything like that. Get it done. Let's go.
Let's do it indeed. Someone said that a mic was acting up. Might have been my mic. I was doing some stretching in the background to get ready for this intense tiebreaker. No, I'm kidding. If you guys could be a pizza topping, what would you be and why?
Okay, easy. This is the easiest thing I've ever been asked.
Don't
since
say
someone said
pineapple.
what my name is. Pineapple's goated, okay? Pineapple is great. I'm not going to hear pineapple slander. However, if you guys...
Someone said Schinken!
I can't believe my eyes. I'm done. We're not doing the tiebreaker anymore. I'm done. See you guys later. Goodbye.
Someone is throwing the Schinken at us. I can't believe it. Yeah, Nightbot instantly saying chat is English only. Oh dear.
Easy for me though. I would be brisket.
Mm-hmm.
Brisket on a pizza? Oh my goodness. What about you, Dyer? Are you a pizza fan?
Absolutely.
I'm not going to ask Dyer any more questions right now because I think the Schinken has took too much of a toll.
I got slapped with the Schinken in chat. I'm not even that huge. I'm not even a huge fan of Schinken on pizza, at least. What would I put on it? I would probably go for a Greek pizza. I would put gyros on, some tzatziki, some feta. I'm like, there's nothing better than the Greek kitchen, if you're asking me. I appreciate the Greek kitchen for its, I don't even want to say simplicity, because it's so much more than that. But I have been in Greece every year with my family when I was young. Greece is a country deep in my heart. I love the culture. I love the people. I love going there. And I don't know, when you're having Greek food, you are having, it's so direct, it's so honest, I feel like, and it's the best food ever. Because like French kitchen, for example, French cuisine is insane, but it's so, you have to take so many steps, and then it's a little bit, apart from baguette fromage, obviously, but you have to take a lot of steps, and then it's a little bit hidden and a little bit fancy, and that can be very nice on its own. But if you're looking into Greek food, it's just amazing. The best memory I have, or the best food I ever ate actually, was when I was a kid. We were in Greece on holidays, and there was a family selling pita bread with gyros, and it was just this pita bread, gyros, tomatoes from their garden, and tzatziki. It was all that was in there, and it was the best food I ever had. And even the Greek people living there, they were all standing in a huge queue at the fence of this family, and it was the grandpa making these gyros pitas. It was insane. It was the best food I ever had. And we came the next year to the same town, and I was so excited about it. And we went to this family, and they said they don't have it anymore because this old man died from one year to the next, and it was so sad. And yeah, but let's try to lift the mood a little bit from memories to this very amazing chef there in Greece. May he rest in peace. North is on the Demogorgon. Since we're playing in alternating order, any tiebreaker. North has just shown us an incredible demo performance, so hopefully he can do that again.
Absolutely. I'm excited to see North on demo again. As we get an early hit there that we are just going to go let the lead. Interesting to see Noed. I don't think that was brought originally. Obviously, they didn't play the first set last time round, but interesting to see Noed in the Arsenal this time round. But yeah, extremely excited to see how this one pans out. We are going to see Adam get reset over there, which isn't too drastic at this point. It just means that 2 survivors weren't on a gen. We know the Claude's not on a gen. That leaves 1 mystery Jake floating around somewhere. But we are going to be committing to the Claude in this chase. Corrupt 3/4 of the way done. All gens officially available to these survivors, as we're going to see this first hook stage come into play.
First hook stage super early into the game. We have seen the survivors still being busy scattering out the Azeroth resting place, trying to get the pressure and the coordination into the generators. So this hook stage, this first chase, didn't even come with a high penalty or time punishment for the killer there. So North setting himself up for a second good game after he has just taken a good performance. You can feel the confidence, I feel like. North definitely knowing that he has the skills on the Demogorgon, being aware that he can deliver in an important moment. So we really love to see that. Jumping on the car even, that's how excited North is at the moment, spotting that 1 survivor behind the main building, trying to catch up to them as quick as possible, but this survivor being a little bit ahead of that, going for a nice double, triple, quadruple back behind the main building, and we might even lose that survivor entirely. If that's the case, that's a huge time loss, and that will actually be quite some damage here.
Yeah, absolutely, and you've got to remember, this is the tie-break set. Every second counts. We are looking towards that 3-gen again, Shack side. Doesn't seem like there's much going off there. A little bit of progress here in the middle, but it's like Dyer just said, it's a massive time loss. Time really is everything in DBD, as I'm sure we are all aware. Everything can change in as little as 90 seconds. The old dynamic of the game can change. As we try some acrobatics to get over the loop there. I wonder if that's actually possible. I've not seen that before. But yeah, a massive amount of time lost from that lost survivor there as we head towards the back of this main section again.
Main section has been difficult for North earlier in this trial. Will it bring more luck this time? That's the interesting question. So far, the answer is no. Our survivor is making it over the pallet in time and will stay on a longer run here and keeping it safe. Stun coming out now here as well. And the first generator being completed. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a second generator. The bottom side towards that shack is currently completely free from pressure. Even the mid-section generator that is going to be completed right here. And so far, North perk build is also not working out, because for Pop Goes the Weasel, we really want to have the hook stages coming in, and North was very likely expecting that he will be able to bring that out quite confident again. Unfortunately, though, we are not seeing that at the moment, and yeah, we can only hope that North is going to somehow find weak downs here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's not what I was expecting, given how the last trial went. I do feel like the survivors have taken things a lot slower this time round, though, which I think is going to play into their hands quite well. I mean, it definitely is at the moment. 2 gens, only one hook stage. searching the lockers to try and just get a glimpse of someone, but it's just not going to pay off here. We've got no sighting of anyone, no scratch marks, nothing. This gen with a bit of progress, we are going to see them try and pull Demo up the map. I don't know if this is the smartest decision, but to get downs, you need chasers. We're not going to go for that chase. We are going to abandon it as we move over to the fun bus, which is still very much intact. And we get a lovely shred through the window there. As I was about to say, fun bus can soak up a lot of time, but a beautiful shred like that can make it a lot more difficult for a survivor to play around those buses being one hit.
And now difficult situation in the mid game, really now coming to a deciding factor. Don't wonder everyone why we made a quick scene switch. We realized that the scoreboard at the top was the opposite way around. So Valentines is playing survivor, Excellence is playing the killer right now. Also Finn, thank you so much for the Prime sub and supporting DBDLeague and the tournaments with that. Sprawler is going to take the quick down right here. Second hook stage looking much worse than in the previous trial. North had a lot more hook stages. I think what we also see is that Valentines was looking at how North is playing, how aggressive he was, what mind games he took, and how he in general approached this trial, and has immediately learned and adjusted the game. We are having a perfect 2-2 split. In the previous trial, they forgot about repairing the 3-gen. This team is ready to learn in a couple of minutes, and that makes them very scary, actually.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, when you think about the difference in play that we're seeing here, you really do see how quickly these survivors have learned. It's almost like we're watching two different teams almost. I think would be a fair assumption because of how different this is. We do see a really nice shred there onto the pallet and the slug. The slug is needed at this point. You've got one gen remaining. Yes, we've got Noed in our pocket ready to use. Sorry, but ideal situation would be that we'd be able to get a win condition with at least a gen on the board. Gives it a bit more of a target to hit for the other team, but as time ticks on, that is becoming less and less seeable. All three other survivors completely healed, fresh hook state on the hook, and the gen split as well, playing a huge part here.
This is going to be such a rough one from now on. Like, whoever makes the next mistake is definitely going to suffer a lot. If Edward, for example, would run into the Demogorgon, we have a quick down and then a snowball potential that would be really punishing for the survivor side. And if North is not calculating correctly in terms of how much time does he have to go for the defense of the generators, going too long or overcommitting in a chase, then it's going to look difficult for him. We have the no one escapes death, so we definitely have something in the back pocket. We can go for an end game run, a snowball in the final stage of the game. This is something that is giving me a lot of hope, because right now the survivor team is playing this perfectly. They are pulling back very early, North having struggled to find the survivors. We can see it here again. You really have to guess where the survivors are. They have already vanished. Hook is getting a free reset because we are looking down at the bottom here for a survivor. And if the survivor team keeps doing this, they might not hand out a single additional stage before that final generator is coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. They're playing it spectacularly, and it's really difficult now to keep on top of these generators, because I think we're just going to see the same two gens getting targeted now. Obviously, two gens with high amount of progress, complete opposite sides of the map as well. This is such a tricky position to be in. Still not finding the survivors, but they're going to find you with a cheeky little head on there. That was to be fair, a little bit expected. He has been checking the lockers around that area, but committing to this chase now. Main, we are going to see that last gen pop, but Noah comes into play. There we see Slug City coming straight in, all aboard the bus. We've got the 1 slug. Can we get the 2 slugs soon after? That would be absolutely massive. The turret's not in a full position, all things considered, but are we just going to see stages come out of the door maybe? We've got both doors. He can defend them relatively well, especially knowing that the majority of the survivors will be coming from the other side where that gen just got done. We're going to secure the hook there. What is the play here? Do you heavily guard the doors? Do you heavily guard the hook? Which one takes priority in this scenario?
Yeah, speedrun. Speedrun is the challenge for now. Tutti Frutti hopping in a locker is a very understandable choice. Forcing the killer into a grab, not allowing the quick snowball, and going immediately after the other survivors. They might even sacrifice Hook 2 here. I mean, there would be stage 6 and then 7, 8 stages. It's definitely a much better result than we have seen in the previous trial. The question is if we will even see the out Adam. That was a photo finish right there. Very, very close. North almost getting that. And because we were trying to chase someone out, we lost the fresh hook that we had. Honestly not sure. I would have maybe suggested our Demogorgon to stay at the fresh hook because you have the no one escapes death. You could have gone for a very, very nice defense there, having the 3 additional stages, accepting the result. Now you need to fight to even get them in the first place. Luckily we are able to do that. Tutti Frutti is going onto the top. Please don't slug. Please don't take too much risk.
Absolutely, this is a nail biter here. I think, yeah, it's an interesting end. It really is an interesting end. We are seeing 5 stages at the moment on the board. So I think that win condition, if it's too hard to speak. I don't know what the play is here. Claude's just going to leave. So we're going to see an extra 2. That's going to be 7 stages total for our demo here. 7 stages is what's going to need to be beaten in this next game. How difficult is that going to be for the next demo that we see? Is that going to be a really hard condition? Is it going to be something that could be done relatively easy? I don't know.
8 we have, luckily. 8 stages.
8 stages, my apologies. My counting skills are that of a child. But yeah, I can't, even still with 8, it's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be a really, really interesting one to see how the survivors bounce back. I'm looking forward to it. I know Dyer's going to be looking forward to it. Chat's looking forward to it. I'm ready. I'm ready for this.
Yeah, absolutely. We are all expecting it. It's rough for North, coming from a 4K and now going into 8 stages. But something that I really want to point out here about Team Valentines, they have learned. They have played 1 trial and they instantly adapted their survivor playstyle in terms of the mistake they made, not getting rid of the 3-gen early, and in terms of how North is playing this. And this is insane. And this is a huge quality of Team Valentines there. And now we are going to be able to find out if Excellence on the survivor side has the exact same quality and instantly adjusting their strategy to be dangerous and take the potential win here. And that's something we will find out right after short break. Go! Here we are on the Astros resting place. Tutti Frutti McLoopy is taking the responsibility on the Demogorgon. We have a nice 3-gen that is corrupted on the bottom side, so we have kind of the similar starting conditions as in the previous trial. The win condition is rough. We have 8 stages from the previous trial is the tie condition, so 9 stages for our killer. On the other hand, we will need a very, very strong survivor game, only having 7 stages and having the rest escape out of the door here. Nancy North, who just played Demogorgon themselves, is a little bit unaware, made it too late to the filler palette and the crouch tech didn't work out. So North needs to make sure that he is going to stay alive for a little bit longer. Very important here that he is not going down that early. Tutti Frutti will try to zone the survivor a little bit. Will not be able to break the pallet. A few extra seconds being lost here. That is a good start for our survivor team.
Yeah, really good start, but a nice little down there. Will we see some gen pops? Maybe. I don't know if we've had enough time. Potentially. I do hear a lot of progress going on, but everyone kind of circling around the same sort of area here. This could play into Tutti Frutti's benefit for sure. Again, we're seeing the no-ed come through, which is quite strong enough, but also Agi, one of my favourite killer perks. It really is. It just helps you get back in the action that little bit quicker, which shows the aggressive side of Tutti Frutti's game plan. It shows how they are wanting to play it. As we pick up an ace, and we see the gem pop on the other side of the map as well. I think we are just going to maybe secure this stage here and play it from there. Maybe we'll even see a second gen pop as a result.
Yeah, it was rough for the survivor team there. They had a good first chase, definitely, with delaying it for so long. On the other hand, now with only having 1 generator, it is being a little bit of a slower trial as well. We were hoping that a second generator would pop as well, but since they are also supposed to go into the reset, it's rough. And North is going into the second stage without any penalty coming out for the killer. We don't have a second generator. We barely have 10% at the shack. The survivor team handing out a stage for free to the killer, basically bringing it close to the elimination. That is crazy. The For the People is an understandable choice here, but will not make the situation ultimately better, as you are now having a fresh hook on the floor, and therefore if this survivor would die, we're already talking about 5 stages. So the survivor team lacking the necessary efficiency.
Absolutely. This is huge, really, for our killer. So much pressure with little to no gem pressure. It's absolutely wild, and we get a strong hit through that pallet there. I think this could be the end of North and out already, maybe. At 4 gems is absolutely mental. We know for a fact there is not a lot of gem pressure going off, as we just saw in the background there. Someone's aura running around the back of me, but look at those gens. 10%, not even 10% on this one here. It's not a good look for our survivors right now.
Yeah, this is what I feel like Excellence needs to work on a little bit if they want to take it as constructive feedback. They are doing good in the chases. They are doing good in fighting in difficult moments. They are doing good in all of that. The difficult thing at the moment is that when they are doing a great tactical play afterwards, the time they are gaining from that is not finding the way. Was Shack Pallet being sacrificed? What they are not doing successfully at any given or all the time yet. Sometimes they do, but sometimes we are having situations where they take some very, very nice plays where you can tell they know what they are doing, and where you can tell they know what's the right decision to take here. But unfortunately, the time is not ending in the generators. They are ending somewhere by running around, by looking at the map. I don't know exactly, but we need to be able to put this time that we are gaining from good plays, which they are showing, into the gens, and this is the key problem here.
Absolutely. Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. There's been a lot of time just soaked up. The efficiency has just not been there in this set. Well, I say this set in this match. And it really is playing into our killer's hands here. We've not got many stages left until that win condition is met. Time is ticking. 3 survivors left with 4 gens. We know how difficult it can be when the numbers start to dwindle. The gen pressure does too, as we do see a gen pop in the distance there. But will it be enough? Has there been too much time wasted at the moment? The survivors still need to reset, and I think we are just going to see this one out to the death. So that's, in essence, 6 stages almost gifted in this game.
Yeah, and this is the difficulty here. When you have a killer camping the hook, then he needs to face a punishment for that. There need to be multiple generators. Here we see the survivor is running on the top side, that even if he would be able to run down, he wouldn't even make that on the timer of the hook anymore. So the fact that we see 2 survivors in the midsection right now that are not on a generator is something that just cannot happen. And it does unfortunately happen, and it's not excellence just yet. So there, on this side, they definitely need to make sure that the efficiency is on point. They have the ideas, they have the knowledge, they are able to execute it. The only problem is afterwards, they are not putting that back into the generators. So let's see how this chase with Ace is going. Stalex is going to take it on the main building here. Tutti Frutti trying to go into the mind games a little bit, forcing Ace all the way around. Nice dodge, and this is what I'm talking about. They are having the individual chase skill. They are doing really, really well. If only this would come into the gens, at least the 3rd generator is coming out here. But now we are having the difficult spot. It's 1 survivor remaining in the trial. 1 survivor is hooked, waiting for rescue. Not sure, it might come to a very fast, dangerous end here.
It may do indeed. Do you know, we've spoke a lot about the survivors in this game, but I've got to say, Tutti Frutti's played really well. You know, we've seen some good shreds, we've seen good map management as well, and a big part of playing killer is knowing who to chase and when to chase and when not to chase, and I think we've seen that shown really, really well by Tutti Frutti in this game. He's played really, really well, but these guys have been playing at a very high level for a long time tonight, and to show the class that both teams still have is exceptional, and it's been really good to watch. We do see the save come through on the other side of the map, and the reset come through as well. Heard footsteps to the left. We're going to keep tracking those scratch marks though. Can we find the Ace and make that down, and then maybe slug? We're going to go onto the Renato instead. I still think this is going to end up in a slug to secure that.
Yuga would need to do a long chase, a long mystery, wonder, surprise, miracle chase to go for 2 gens alone there on the side of Ace. He is not able to do that, and especially in a situation like this, you just want to drop the pallet. Keeping this pallet alive is not unfortunate. That's why we're going back onto the hook here. 8 stages. That will also be the win condition very soon. If this survivor is progressing into the 2nd stage, then we have exactly what we need. So excellent with the back at the wall, I would say. Valentines coming out on top here.
Absolutely. And, you know, this is the beauty of DBD, is that no match is ever the same. You look at this match, you look at the match that we had before in this tie-break set, complete contrast to what we had previously seen in the original set 5. And am I right in saying this is Valentines currently on Killer?
Yeah.
I think it is. It's a good thing to point out. This is also Valentine's pick. Valentine's pick demo. There's going to be confidence there. And reflecting back to way back at the beginning of the matches tonight, I remember me and you, Dyer, talking about how we thought tonight was going to match up, how the games were going to play, and we were talking about how the sets 1, 2, 3 were your high intensity killers. You're going to see some really fast action plays. We've seen that all night long, and it's been an absolute pleasure to see it as well. As we now move on to the Vittorio. Now, finishing off this 4K with a little 1v1 by the looks of things. It's been a great set.
Absolutely. It is a nice finisher here as well, to have this very final 1v1 after, how long are we here now? Almost 5 hours of gaming, which is insane. Both teams coming out here on the DBDL stage, showcasing their players, showcasing their team, getting their name out there. It's also big to step up here. Yeah, mistakes have been made today, but you need to consider, ladies and gentlemen, these teams are coming out on stage to show themselves and practice here against each other. That is different than sitting in a voice call together. It is a difference going on a stage where two casters are analyzing you, criticizing you, where you have 600 people watching your gameplay, commenting it as well. So a huge shout out to Excellence and the Valentines. I feel like it was the closest, most exciting Scrim Night that we have seen. Both teams incredibly skilled, incredibly close together. So absolutely amazing to see so much coming out from them. A shout out also goes to Derolog for taking the live score sheet in the background and communicating with the team, setting everything up, and to Savannah for producing this stream, all the 12 trials through, being responsible for what the audience can see is always a very stressful job. Next up, we are thanking Noshua, who had the caster debut today, first time on the desk of DBDL. I think very well done. Noshua, congrats for having the debut completed. How do you feel?
I feel amazing. Honestly, it's been an incredible experience and one that I'm so happy to have been able to be a part of. Tonight has been amazing. We've had some incredible games. It's been a pleasure to watch, a pleasure to cast, and I can't thank you all of the staff for making it as easy as it has been, for making me feel as comfortable, and of course the teams for putting on an absolute performance. I feel like it's always easy when the teams are playing at such a high standard. It makes it easier for us to bounce off of, and I've enjoyed every second, really have.
Yeah, we could all tell how happy you were to be here, and we are excited to have you on the roster. So yeah, definitely congratulations for making the debut here. We are looking forward to hear much more.